Are we live now?
We are live now. Hello, everybody. I'm going to do my usual pasting of the advert everywhere.
Okay, I'm going to tell everyone about me going to New York to see Dave.
Oh my God. You should,
I did
yes.
it. I finally defeated the devil of procrastination and bought tickets.
You never really defeat this devil.
Okay, wait, no, I won this battle. I did not win the war, if that helps. Anyway, so after many, many weeks of going like, oh, how should... And so, to be fair to me, I wasn't sure whether we were going to take the whole family or just me. And making that decision crippled all the other decisions. Um, Anyway, so in the end, we decided that, and I want to point out before I make this statement that my husband has had like 5 holidays. He's like been to Greece, he's been to Portugal, he has been to Ireland, he has been Bradford. Bradford's not so
Wait,
great,
is
but
that
anyway,
like
that was his
ever?
choice. Hmm?
Wait, five
No,
holidays
in
in what
like the
time frame?
last like 18 months,
Okay,
okay?
okay. That's what I want. I'm
So
like, if it's five
so he's
holidays in
had
his
a lot
whole
of
life, I'd be like, oh man.
yeah, no, he's had a lot of holidays and I've held down the fort many times in the last 18 months. And that's
Okay,
fine. I
okay.
don't, I don't begrudge him that. This is how
Into
we
counts.
roll in our family. Anyway,
Hmm.
so then it was kind of like after umming and ahhing, we're like, why don't you go on your own, Gemma? Then you can have fun. It's going to be easier. I won't have to talk about Disney's Pixar cars at least 7 times a day,
Oh, I love
which
that
will be
movie, and it's
great.
really all I talk about.
Oh, God. Because I have some real, having had to watch it a lot, I have some real opinions now.
Yeah, I'm
Anyway,
deeply invested in the Cars universe.
so I go online and I'm like, I'm going to use my air mile points because I've got so many, after COVID and stuff, I've got tons and I've got a voucher. So I stick it all in there and I find a great flight. Because New York, there's loads of flights. It's really easy to get reward flights to New York because there's like, I think there's like 120 flights a day or something
Oh
to
wow.
New York. There's like ridiculous number. I think that BA are flying there, Virgin are flying there, and then you've got all your American carriers as well. There's a lot of flights to New York. Like it's a big route, especially like weekdays because all your city folk are shuttling back and forth.
Mm, mm,
You
mm.
know. So anyway, I put them in and I'm like, oh wow, it's basically 100 quid for my return ticket with all my points and vouchers and stuff like that. And I was like, wonderful. But I was like, oh, I might go premium economy because I am flying red eye flights and I am a pretty good flight
You kind
sleeper.
of
But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fold myself into the. So I was like, I'll go for premium economy. So I looked at premium economy and I was like, it's only £295 return.
are. Uh-huh.
And I was like, that's not bad. And just for shits and giggles, I wanted to check how much the business class return would be. And from the £295 premium economy, it was only 350 return on business class. And I was like, wow, I better do that, hadn't I? So now I've got a business class return. And after I booked it, I made the horrifying realization that now actually I'm leaving. Well, whilst I'm away, it's going to be my husband's birthday, and I'd totally forgotten. So now I'm leaving him with our 2-year-old on his own to solo parent whilst I fly around to New York on business class to hang out at Dave's and play mahjong. So I might be the worst wife that ever existed, ever. So when you ever see poor Toshi, um, feel bad for him and his choice of bride.
No, no, no. Bring something good home.
Oh, he wants some sort of like cinnamon gum,
What?
big red or
He
something.
wants Big Red?
Yeah, I was like, oh my
I
God, I'm so
mean,
sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, I'll bring you something. I'll bring what do you like? And he's like, I want big red gum. And I'm like, what? That was I'm like, okay, sure, I can order that from Amazon. That's piss easy.
all right. Yeah, I mean, Big Red. That's all right.
Yeah, so that's what I'm bringing him home. So, and I'll have to go to the Disney store for the other boyo and get him something from the Disney Pixar Cars universe. Heaven help me when they make a sequel.
Well, it's never gonna end. The Cars universe is forever. They're moving on to Cars Phase Two, with a whole new set of TV
And
shows and
I can, well, I'm already on, so we've already had Cars on the
big
Road. And I will
instruments.
say, compared to the movies, Cars on the Road is not a bad little TV show. However, I mean, in the end,
Oh,
they're
they
never
are
going to
doing
stop
it.
it
Okay, I didn't realize they were
because
actually doing
because
this.
the merchandise, I mean, every time they make a movie, every time they make a TV show, there's more car models to make, right? For
Hmm.
people to collect.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
They must just be
Transformers.
raking it in. You can't do that quite so well with Toy Story, right?
I mean, you can do the standard level movie thing where it's like, I mean, again, the problem is that these things, to borrow a term from one of my favorite television shows, Freakazoid, uh,
Ka-chow. Sorry, yeah.
the cars, as with Pokemon, they're both toyetic.
Mm-mm-mm.
Toy Story, ironically, is not as toyetic
Yeah.
as Cars and Pokemon are, even though it's literally called Toy Story. Like you could add a new character in Toy Story and then sell that, sell a toy of that new character, but you can only really do one or two because the characterization is so strong.
Mm-mm-mm.
While like Pokemon and Cars both have kind of like weak characterization of individual like entities, so they can just crank
Mm.
them out.
Yeah, of course, like Lightning McQueen has a new paint job
Oh yeah, yeah,
every
the new version,
iteration. So
new
then you've
version.
got a new paint job, right?
Yeah, well, it's like Transformers, different generations of Transformers.
Oh, I know. And like, oh God, it's so anyway, that's the life I live right now. But apart from that,
So wait, what do you want
I'm
to
looking
do? What do you
forward.
want to do? What am I getting
I
set up for
want
you
to
here?
learn how to paint mahjong tiles, and I hope that
Well,
anyone else in New York is also going to want to come and learn to paint mahjong tiles with
that's
me.
something we can for sure help you with, because, and I'll probably do a more thorough plug of this later. We are running our Karen Aruba Mahjong tile painting workshop on March 30th, a date that I have messed up in some of my postings and said
I
April
saw
30th, being
that.
dumb as heck. But it's March 30th. We have 2 sessions. We have tickets left still. So if you want to come and paint and finish mahjong tiles, so I'll give the
Yeah.
pitch quickly at the beginning. You come to the class. Karen's there. She's wonderful. She's an artist based out of Hong Kong. Her father is one of the last active mahjong tile hand carvers, which is really cool. She gives like a lecture and presentation and explanation of how tile hand carving works and what it's all about. And then you get a selection of 7 tiles. It's 4 hand carved circle tiles and 1 custom tile that you've chosen yourself, and also 2 specific tiles. I believe it's a green dragon and a 1 bamboo
Yeah.
are the specific ones you get. You're going to get all those tiles, and you're going to be able to paint them yourself and then do the finishing process yourself to make them like a complete finished painted tile. And then you get a gift box to put them in. So if it's for you, you get to give yourself a wonderful gift. And if it's for someone else, you get a nice, fancy themed box to put it in, as well as a card you can put in there if it's for someone else. Or if you want to write a nice note to yourself, because self care is really important, you can write, "Dear me, I love you, and you are valuable." Um, and you,
I think it's I honestly I'm I was always going to see Dave, but I put my dates around this because I genuinely think it's a super unique
you love a
opportunity.
full set of
You
tiles.
know, there's not that many hand tile manufacturers anymore in the traditional style, right?
It's true.
And
It's true.
I'm really excited to get an insight into that world because that world's gone now, basically.
If you
This is,
want a full set of tiles that match these, I'm sure you can get them for some price. I do not know what that number would be, but I'm willing to bet that if I said to Karen, someone wants to buy a full set of tiles to match, there would be the ability to have that happen. I don't know what the numbers
I
would
think
look
we're
like.
also going to get an insight into how mass production is a wonderful technology.
I was gonna say one of the things that we ended up needing to be really careful with when putting this together was to not imply that you were going to be carving tiles yourself,
Mm.
because that is apparently very difficult and probably a little dangerous for students who will mess it up and stab themselves and stuff. Um,
Yeah, I'd imagine like the plastic dust and stuff isn't great.
what you get to do though, she'll have with her the tool used to make the pin tiles, the circle tiles. So folks
Mm-mm.
can get a demo of using that and what it's like to carve a tile with that. So you
Oh
get to do a little bit of
wow.
tile carving, not none. But that unfortunately, it would be cool to do, but it would be, I mean, a huge amount of time and expense to do something like carve your own full set of tiles. That
Yeah,
is out of scope.
yeah.
But
But the painting is
painting and finishing is still really
that's
cool.
quite a lot already. I don't know. Like I was never very good at like painting those Warhammer models either, so I'm not expecting great results from my
You
hand.
getting into you
But
getting
I
into
am there
Warhammer?
for the experience.
It's an expensive hobby. So what else do you want to do? So we're going to do this class. It's going to be great. We're going to plug it again at the end. What else? What else do you want to do in New York? What are we
So
setting up for you?
I don't know, Dave. I want to play in Sparrow's Nest, obviously. That's a big draw as
Oh no,
well.
we're
Like
closing it while you're here. We can't have you in there.
yeah, it's closed for maintenance, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just going to be like WRC. Sorry, yeah, that we got some cheap labor that weekend, so the whole place is shut down. Uh,
No, no, no. I mean, I don't know. I mean, eat.
mm, well, what do you want to eat? We got to figure out what have you not eaten here that you need to eat. Have you had proper pizza here ever?
Yeah, yeah, you take me to proper pizza, like as a
Okay.
slice.
Okay.
Is that what you're talking about?
What?
And then you told me that the guy, like, there's some sort of
Only White Castle.
pizza.
Yes, only White Castle. That's what you're doing, Gemma. We're
Jesus
doing the
Christ,
only
never
White
White
Castle.
Castle again. Never White Castle again. Ever, 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 ever. I don't think I've had a proper bagel, but
Oh my god, yeah, we can do that. We can do. I mean, you want to do Jew food? We can do all the Jew food.
enjoy the cheap food.
You might. You know what you might find interesting actually.
Uh,
The Tenement Museum tours.
okay.
So they do
Yes, I would
tours of
actually.
of the
I would
old
be
tenement
up for
houses
that.
and how they were and kind of immigrant history and stuff like that. I feel like that's something you might be find super
Yeah, I
interesting.
would be super hyped. I always wanted to go to Ellis Island, and I tried twice, and each time I've
More
been
like
thwarted.
Snellis Island. No, that's Ellis Island's doable. That's for sure doable.
Really, like every time I've gone, I'm like, I don't even understand how you're supposed to get there.
Well, we'll figure it. I'll figure. I got a month and a half to figure it out,
Yeah,
and then we can do
I'd
Ellis
like to
Island.
see Ellis Island. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's just a tiny little shitty rock.
I don't think it's that
Um,
tiny, but it is just kind of like it is like the remnants of a processing center for people. So like it's
but
probably not
I've
like
heard they've got like all the traditional costumes there, right? Because when
oh they
people
might
came,
oh they
they like
left.
took off their costumes and they were like, we're in the new country now. We're not having this crap.
I think it's funny that's they did that, and now like today we're like, oh my god, this stuff is like priceless. You know,
Yeah, right.
they're like done with that. We're Americans now. Put on a suit, like do, and they're hyped to be in the new place. And now we're looking back at all that stuff. We're just like, oh my god, you just threw that away. Like, holy
Yeah.
crap.
But I mean, but then just
Self-guided rock and roll tour.
it's the motivation, it's the excitement, it's the enthusiasm, right? Like we are going to the new world. Everything is going to be different and better. And I just find that entire narrative fascinating, exciting.
Mm.
I don't know. I mean I always find America
Yeah,
generally
Tenement
quite
Museum
a
is amazing. Yeah.
fascinating place. Just the sheer size of it, the people, all of it. It's amazing to me. And but Ellis Island, I guess, is part of like a big part of that story, right? Because that's where a lot of people came through.
Oh, do you want to see the
Uh,
tunnel?
no, I don't want to see your tunnel.
You don't. You don't want to peer into the Jew tunnel.
No, I really don't.
It's $5.
That sounds
It's $5
dangerous.
to peer into the Jew tunnel. They've monetized
Sounds
it now.
super dangerous. They haven't monetized it, have they? And this is they can get the renovations to put
Yeah,
the like.
to pay to repair it. It now costs $5 to peer into the Jew tunnel.
I saw that.
I'm
And
Jewish,
I'm like,
Twitch. I'm allowed to say this. This isn't hate speech. It is literally
I
a
saw
tunnel
that, and
dug
I
by
was like,
Jews.
really? Of all the things, a tunnel? Jeez.
Well, apparently it was this really, really long-term battle over these renovations. It was a whole to-do. It's not straight up crazy, or rather, no, maybe what I should say is
No.
it's not completely ununderstandable as to why it happened. You
I
can
think it's a
comprehend
lot of
why it
little
happened. It's
things,
kind of
right,
crazy.
that escalated into crazy.
Yeah. Oh, it's for sure crazy, but it's not just like someone one day was like, let's just dig forever. Like,
I did read through it, and like I was just like, wow, it's basically like a big neighbor dispute.
oh yeah.
And I'm like, I could see my neighbors tunneling under my house if we really fell out. So, like, I feel like that's a very kind of it's a
All right,
very
but let me know if you have any other must dos while you're here, so I can.
yeah.
Make
I'm
sure
just
they
thinking because I
happen.
already did Ghostbusters. I would like to do Ellis Island. I would like this tenement tour. Tenements are very
Tenement tour's
interesting.
easy and it's really cool. It's really. I actually have not done them, so I would be super thrilled to do those also.
Yeah, do you know it's the sort of thing you never do when you live there, right?
A little bit, a little bit.
You have to
Um,
wait until someone comes.
That was
I
oh,
did that famous cafe restaurant that was famous from Hamilton or something. I did
I
that.
didn't know about that. Never heard about that.
You were there. I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, you weren't
No, I
there.
wasn't there.
I was with some other mahjong players that day.
What? I'm the only one.
You were busy. You were busy organizing because it was before the North American Open.
Oh, was any? Okay, yeah. I was probably running around in circles like a crazy.
Mhm.
Hello, Ricky.
So yeah, I am super hype, and I'm really and food's gonna be good. Everything's gonna be good. It's
And
just
I
gonna
will
be good.
provide you with a giant roll of quarters, so you can disparage people's discards.
And I don't describe. Well, actually, do you know what? This is a great segue into mahjong
Oh
Twitter
yeah.
drama.
Well, before that, real quick, do you want to hold a formal event, or do you just want to hang out as guest pro?
I'll hold a formal event if you want. I would be hyped to do that as well.
To do it too.
Like, what is the formal event? Like,
It's just
fold
Gemma
hard?
yells at you. Gemma drinks beer and criticizes you.
It's funny, isn't it? Like Americans really like that. Like
It's just
British
Gordon Ramsay. It's
accents
just Gordon Ramsay.
criticizing. It's
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay, exactly. They
Gordon
really
Ramsay
expect, but
trained us that British people need to show up and tell us how awful we are.
we sent Super Nanny over there as well, right?
We could just literally, instead of my Tempai nightmares, we could just do Johnso nightmares. You could just come in and be like, "How long have these tiles been out? They've clearly gone off. You
But I
can't
do,
you can't use these anymore."
it's interesting. Like where I just sound like a shrill, hateful woman in this country. In America, I'm like Mary Poppins.
These points are wrong. All right, let's go to this drama. We got this drama.
Yeah.
Hot drama.
Right, so back to
Tempo
tile
check.
disparagement. So, and this
All
comes,
right,
I
let's
think
take a
some
look.
people said like, oh, you should tell us about the ins and outs of Japanese mahjong world. So,
Is it down to $4? Yes, yes. We
there's
can charge you to
been
sign
like,
things.
I should have sent you the other link. Wait a minute, let me find the other link whilst we're it. Oh God, why is Twitter such a shithole now?
I wonder.
I had a dream about Elon Musk last night as well.
Oh my God. Anyway,
It wasn't weird or anything. I just woke up. I'm like, huh, Elon Musk.
I wonder if I couldn't get you a speaking engagement while you're here, but that's a separate issue. So wait, I'm sorry. We have this first link here. So we have this up on screen now.
Even
So
better
let's
value than Tenhou.
talk about what we have going on.
Hmm.
So this,
So-
I've auto-translated it for myself.
Mm.
It says, in response to the occurrence of slander and other incidents. Now, to be fair, this is machine translated, so it's not always capturing the nuance properly. But in
Yeah, and
response
I
to the
think
occurrence
we
of
should
slander-
get to that point, slander, the way they've translated. Anyway, so yeah, like, and this dates back to what, November?
Yeah.
November.
Now, yeah, I was going to say the word slander I think is a little important because as a U.S. citizen, something like slander implies incredibly negative commentary, like legally actionable, like me saying so and so is a sex offender or so and so committed a violent, something very aggressive, like you should never hire so and so because they are a violent felon who committed a serious crime. Like something like that is slander. Something like saying this baseball player sucks and we shouldn't keep them on for next year is not, in the U.S. eyes, slander. So,
Right, so,
what are we
I mean,
talking about here?
I think defamation, and the problem is we're butting up against Britishisms and Americanisms, right? Like defamation and libel here are two different things, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember the difference. But so if you ever watch Japanese news, any Japanese variety shows, they're super careful to keep it positive and light. Even the news, they will not name companies or people that everyone knows about unless they've got it rock solid, because defamation laws are really strict there. It's very difficult, and the threshold for causing trouble to someone or defamation is really low, which is why, again, when they take photos in public, they always blur out everyone's faces. And
Right.
you'll find very, compared to us, right? Like every time some drama happens on the street, everyone's out there with their phones, right?
Well,
Filming
it also looks weird to me, like when I see photos from like mahjong parlors and stuff, how they like fastidiously blur everyone out.
Yeah,
And like again,
exactly.
for my U.S. sensibilities, that makes me think like, what is this witness protection? like
Yeah.
is some crime happening? And it
Yeah,
seems
and
like
so yeah, but they won't flip their phones out if something really weird's happening on the street, because it's such an established kind of social more to not out people on the internet. And that's, again, when you see like when they do Shibuya and stuff in animes and stuff, they always change all the names, right? It's never the 101, it's always the 102 or something.
right.
Yeah, no,
Hmm.
photo of people in public does not break GDPR. It's a funny one, that one. I think a lot of people misinterpret that, but it's not GDPR if you're in public.
Interesting.
If you're a business and you've got CCTV camera on people and you haven't told them that you're using
Oh,
CCTV,
then you have to GDPR.
that's a GDPR issue. However, if you've got a sign up as you enter the premises, I've got CCTV running, then that covers you, and you have the right to go and say, well, I want to see my face on the CCTV. But then, GDPR is the Data Protection Act in the UK and the EU.
The most awesome law ever to be enacted because it makes
It's- do you know-
everything you do miserable and awful.
It does not. I just think people freak out because they're like, oh,
Well,
GDPR is this
to be
big nasty
fair-
thing.
to be
So,
fair-
and compared to GDPR, compared to what happens in Japan, is nothing.
To be fair, a
Piss
lot of the
easy.
problem with GDPR was when it was first passed, because there wasn't much precedent at that time as to what was okay and what, like a law gets passed with a regulation, and then over time lawyers and cases test that regulation until everyone's kind of comfortable with what it is. So when GDPR first came out, everyone was kind of freaking out because there was no case law on it. It was hard to know where the
I
boundaries were.
I think only Americans are freaking out
Oh yeah.
because it meant that people who were doing things that were really bad could no longer do those things. And I'm looking at you, Facebook.
Oh,
So
I'm. Oh.
yeah, I mean, basically, the only thing that you should be worried about is if you're collecting data to sell it to someone else. That's really the only time you need to be worried about, ever,
Hmm.
right? If you're not doing any of these things, most of what we do, even me as a business, most of
Use
what I
case
do
law.
is covered by this fair use. If I'm collecting, people's emails for a mailing list and they know I'm doing it, fine. No one cares because they gave me their email address. So they're expecting me to contact them, right? And the only thing that really changes GDPR is they can also now tell me to stop emailing them and I have to. And that's a legal protection for them, right? I, so much of this is just good practice anyway. I don't know why people freak the hell out.
Oh no, yeah.
Um,
In the U.S., there's tons of maybe this is
yeah.
U.S. only,
The,
but
no,
yeah,
the UK is case law as well. A
yeah.
lot of case law. It's well, I mean, we're the nation without a constitution or anything. So hey ho.
Yeah, so
Um,
the more
so
things get tested in court, the more I sue someone saying I want you to delete my data because of GDPR,
right.
and then we go to court, and then they discover we talk about everything and figure it out, and then the judge says either you don't have the right to ask for your data to be deleted because interpreting
Yeah.
GDPR we believe it means like this, or you do because it means like
No, I
that, and
mean
then that
it's
becomes
pretty
part of the
clear that
definition.
yeah, it's pretty clear that you have to delete data as part of GDPR. It's just,
Yeah,
but
but like for
only
example, what if we have a thing where I walked into your store and I
yeah,
said my email address out loud, and your
yeah.
CCTV also records audio. So now you have an audio recording of my email address. Are you obligated to delete that at my request?
Well, CCTV typically deletes itself after 14 days in this country, so it wouldn't become a problem.
Well, again, there's but I might well, maybe I'm thinking very American, very litigious, but I might
Mm.
sue you for that. And at some point,
No,
someone's
no, no,
gonna
no,
the judge
because
will have to rule on
GDPR
that in some
has
way.
in it that they have to delete it within a reasonable time frame, and that reasonable time frame, for example, could be 3 months if that data is difficult to access. It could be even longer. Let's say that you're going through paper records. It could take as long as ever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's why they tend to put like these deadlines on their CCTV so
Sure,
that
sure.
when someone says like, I came in, I don't want my data here, and you can just be like, well, it's deleted already. So
But I mean, again, this is where case law comes in, right? What is the reasonable time frame? Is it literally defined in GDPR? Or does it just say reasonable time frame?
I think no, I think GDPR has they have guidance and that puts in some stuff which
Okay.
says you have to do it
Well,
within this, this, and
that's a
this.
well written
There's
law
some
then.
stuff like I'm gonna say there's always some weird outlying case, and everyone will be like, "Jesus Christ, what have you done there?" Um, yeah, it's a reasonable interest, exactly, Ricky. It's a reasonable interest to protect your
It
business.
is, it is.
Hmm.
But at least within U.S. law, a lot of these things get clarified by case law over the years, where you do hit
Uh,
some of the blurry edges.
this was written by the EU, so they're a
Yeah,
bit hotter than we are in the UK. And if the British had written it, it'd be a hot,
you get
flaming
fun stuff like
mess.
you can't booby trap your own home. That's an interesting one. You can't booby trap your own home. Um,
Uh,
I forget.
Anyway, back to Japan. All of this,
Mm,
they are very, Japan is a very litigious nation as well, very litigious.
well, we get along.
And so people tend not to say anything that could be interpreted as defaming someone or even an entity. So I was once involved in a journalistic case, and it was a big scandal, very political scandal, and there were allegations of bribes being passed around, blah blah blah. Everyone knew the company who'd been handing out these bribes. Everyone knew. Well, you couldn't report it because that would put the media outlet up for lawsuit,
Mm,
even though it was true, even though it was provably true. Everyone, or in this country, if everyone knew it to the point where it was ridiculous that we couldn't say it anymore, you'd still report it, right? We even had a photo near the building and we couldn't use the photo. It was that weird. Anyway, so and this kind of bleeds into mahjong. And if you ever watch and you manage to kind of get the drift of commentary, they're always very positive, always very positive.
mm,
They really, criticism is gentle, and if it happens, it tends to happen within the league itself, if you see what I mean. Um, but yeah, exactly. I don't, online shogi servers don't say anything offensive. And I know that Final Fantasy 14 online, part of the reason that maybe they've established friendlier environment in their Western servers is because they've managed to transport the Japanese ideals. Now, let me caveat this all that Japanese online areas are awful, hell. Like, but they post anonymously, right? And they're telling everyone to die and they hate them and they're ugly and
Well, in a way, it's almost like a rebellion against not being able to say this stuff. Mostly, you spend your whole life walking around in a society where you can never just be like "fuck you" to someone.
yeah.
Like,
So yeah, so this is not back in November. So Abema, like, yeah. Um, so they, I guess there were a lot of comments. I never saw these comments, but I can imagine what these comments look like because I've seen them levied at people like Moriyama. Um, and these comments get very personal, right? Which is, I imagine, what's happened here. So Abema tried to come down on it and said, like, oh, we're going to use AI to monitor user comments.
okay.
Now, slander's a strong word. I like the word you used a bit ago, disparaging, right?
Okay. Yeah, so I think that's something to kind of clarify a little bit here is that this was not someone straight up saying like Emily player X has committed a serious felony, something that we would consider slander, or like Emily player X engages in illegal conduct, but like but just being mean almost like saying
Yeah.
disparaging and mean things about how they're stupid or dumb or bad at mahjong or shouldn't be playing here, I think would be considered
Yeah.
slander or what's translated as slander within the Japanese like socio-legal sphere.
Yeah, and what I never understood, and if someone does know this or has a citation, I don't know whether the M Leaguers themselves complained, or what could be quite possible, the other viewers complained
Mm.
because they're very good at saying like I don't I don't like they don't like the environment, like they tend to like positive environments, right?
I mean, who doesn't like that? That's what makes it a positive environment. Like everyone likes a positive environment. That's what makes it positive.
I don't know. I don't know. Do you not think that we're a lot more? I don't know. I'll only talk for Brits. I think we're a lot more tolerant when someone says something mean and awful, especially with celebrity culture, right?
Yeah, but like there's also the question of when and where. Like look, if I want to sit here, I don't have any particular negative feelings about Taylor
Yeah.
Swift, but if I want to sit at home with my friends hanging out and say like, "Man, I sure don't like Taylor Swift." Like that's like in my own home, probably no one's going to get too upset that I said that. But like if you're on the M League channel watching M League and like I'm not going to go to a Taylor Swift concert and be like, "She sucks." Like that seems real dumb.
And it's
Why am
going to
I,
cost you a lot of money as well.
like walking into the M League channel. I mean, they're not saying like M League sucks, so it's not like so nonsensical. But like booing a player at the game. No,
I,
people do that for fun for
but
baseball
do you
stuff
not
here. I
think as
can't
well?
lie.
Like
Like,
part of it is when you set up teams that are going like you say that
yeah,
about Taylor Swift. Like there's no like I don't know who rivals Taylor Swift these days. I don't know. Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa doesn't turn up on
they
stage
don't
and they don't
rival
pit
each
the
other.
two fans against each other, right? But you are pitting the fans of different teams against each
Yeah,
other.
that's true. That's true. So you're gonna be like, yay, my team, boo other guy. Ugh, don't. It's all right. He's just wandered off into the
That's
point
right.
where he's
Yeah,
not
Taylor
human
Swift and
anymore.
Beyonce would have been. I don't think Dua Lipa can really fight Taylor Swift at this
No.
point. But Beyonce, Taylor Swift, I'd watch
Look,
that.
if you're
I'd watch
monitoring
that
our
fight.
channel to find out the hot pop star beefs, like we don't know them. Well, I know there's Nicki Minaj versus Megan Thee Stallion. Like that's one.
Oh
That's
yeah,
a
I do
fight
know.
that's
I mean,
going on.
yeah, I don't know. All I know is that Taylor Swift is a psyop or something. That was the last thing I saw.
Oh, there was all that. Yeah, I don't. Man.
I, anyway, so sort of moving forward from that, like there was a big discussion about, you know, what can we criticize? Because some people just said, but they're professionals, therefore we can criticize them. They are
Hmm.
fair game. And I thought, I don't know, I had a big think about this because I'm like, well, they are kind of celebrities at this point. They're certainly putting themselves up as celebrities.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
yeah, I don't think it's right. So if I went to an EMA game and someone I don't know and I was just mean about them, that's not right. But
See,
if someone's coming as a celebrity, surely you're stepping up on a stage and inevitably you're going to get that.
yeah, I don't know. I think that's an interesting one. Like I think if you're being if you're being polite, right? Like if you're being a decent person, I'm trying to relate this like actors and actresses, you
Mm.
know? Like for example, here's a hot one. The poor kid who played Anakin Skywalker in the uh, Star Wars prequels, or the
Oh,
lady who played what's her face in the new movies, Rose, I believe that character. She was like
the one that looks
harassed.
exactly like Keira Knightley. She looks exactly like
No,
Keira
what?
Knightley. Does she not? Is that
No,
not
I
her? Is
think you're
that?
thinking of someone very other.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah.
Rose Star Wars.
It was Rose Tico. Kelly Marie Tran is the actress who
Oh,
played Rose
her.
Tico. Yeah, and she got so much ridiculous personal harassment. Now,
Why?
because she doesn't fit what Star Wars fans imagine should be in Star Wars.
Oh, bloody hell.
Um,
Fuck.
it's all Star Wars fans are the worst. Everyone's the worst. But like, I think it's fine, and I do actually believe this. So I'll just say it as my opinion.
Hmm.
That second movie, the second Ryan Johnson new Star Wars film, I thought that Rose Tico was a character who
Hmm.
was not written very well, who
Hmm.
like did not have a good point in the plot, and that the plot ended up being kind of circular. Like, there were things I didn't like about that movie. And I think it's fine
Hmm.
for me to say those things because it's true. Like, this movie is placed out as a piece of media. This isn't someone's private thing that they did in their house. This is something put
Hmm.
out there by professionals to make money. And I think I do. You're right. I have the right to criticize it
Hmm.
within a scope. I have the right to say I didn't like that movie. I thought this was bad. I have the right to say I thought this actor did a really bad job in that movie. I'm not saying that about Rose Tico
Hmm.
per se, but like, I can say, yeah, I think this really wasn't one of Dwayne the Rock Johnson's best films. I thought his acting in Black Adam was wooden at best. I didn't think he did a good job. Um, and I think you're right. Like if you're going to be a professional and get up on the stage, you do have the obligation to take that criticism. But I think there is a point where it boils over from critique of your work to personal critique. When
Oh,
you
but
start saying, I think this person is stupid and a garbage person, and many people don't really walk this line, and maybe it's a hard line to enforce, but I do think there's a point where you're going from saying, I think their professional work, I didn't like it. The work they do as an
Hmm.
entertainer to entertain me, I didn't like it. I didn't think so and so played well that game. I think that's a valid thing to say. And that is something you have to endure as an athlete or as a professional. Someone's going to look at your game, they're going to say, I didn't think you did too good.
Yeah, so let me grab.
So what is this second link, by the way? You sent me another link. Is
Oh
that
yeah, yeah.
relevant?
So don't leave that one for a second. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just sort of Kuroki. What did he say? I mean, he puts a lot of things in that. The problem is the loud people often have the wrong information.
No.
No, who'd have thought that? Yeah, and yeah, it's he. I mean, again, it's back to this sort of being surprised that people would attack people, which is, I guess, kind of what you're expressing.
Well, the other
Um,
interesting thing about this, in my mind, is it is unfortunately a mark of success
hmm, hmm,
especially in today's modern media landscape. If you have a successful piece of media that people watch and care about, you will unavoidably breed a level of fan. It's not necessarily all your fans, and you can try to make it not the standard for your fans, but there will be a level of fan who feels this ownership over it to the point where whenever they get something they don't like out of their beloved thing, they are furious.
hmm.
And it is a mark of success. If no one cared about M League, no one would comment, right?
Yeah, and yeah, it's and again, but I think the challenge for us when we look in on the M League world, the Japanese martial art world, is that we're probably not reading in how harsh that's coming across in Japanese to a Japanese person.
That is tough. I mean, it's tough. It's tough
So it's
even.
back to the localization point, right? If I was to localize it and I really wanted to do it good, I would make, something that would be translated quite literally and it would sound quite flat. If you wanted to really translate it, you'd need to add a lot of foul mouth words and stuff in, right? To sort
Hmm.
of hit through that actually this is hitting
Well,
someone harder than it would if you said it,
I want to
Um,
be real though. I mean, some of the cases that I mentioned, again, the kid who played Anakin
mm,
and Kelly Marie Tran, like they were. I mean, the level of vitriol they experienced was very, very large, very,
yeah,
very
yeah,
large. And they as people, I mean, you're right. We have a bit thicker skins towards criticism because we live in cultures where
yeah.
criticism is more
But
common.
even
But
like even
it's
things like
bad.
they'd say things like die, like Shine die, and I'm like don't know. Like I just laugh. If someone told me to die,
Yeah, like I mean, but
it wouldn't even register for me.
I've
Whereas,
been on the internet for long enough that like yeah, those things get slung around. But like I mean,
yeah,
to be fair,
but I mean, to hurt though for us, people have to put a lot of extra information in. Like I'm going to do this, this, and this to you,
well,
and then you're going to die.
a specific threat is frightening in a very different way. A specific
Yeah.
threat is frightening. Is frightening because it is now a threat, as opposed to
Mm.
just a bad vibe. Someone saying, "I hate you. I don't like what you did here. I think you're trash." But honestly, get 20,000 people to treat Dave. I think you're trash. And you shouldn't play mahjong anymore. I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna feel like trash. I'm not gonna
Mm.
like that. 20,000 people cared enough to write like, "Please never play this game again because you're awful." That's horrible. And I'm not. I don't know if that literally happened here. To be fair, I'm just saying like
Yeah, I mean,
even if we're more used to the bumps of criticism in our daily lives, like the amount of focused bandwagoned hatred that can happen when there's like an internet pylon can hurt anyone. There's no one who's just maybe there's a few people in this world who are strong enough to just be like whatever, but most people are going to be really upset and really hurt by it.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, even like at the start of Mahjong lifedom, Jen got a shit ton of criticism, and I never understood that. Never understood why she came under quite so much
I can
angry internet
unfortunately
weebdom.
see the I can see why that happened, but I want to be careful to say that it is not justified. But
Mm.
I can see
Yeah,
why and how those events ended up happening.
even me, like I had terrible stuff sent to my inbox. Terrible, terrible stuff. I burned the inbox in the end. Just for trying to do the WRC. I think a lot of that's kind of died down now, but I do always sort of wait bated breath for the next time I do something that really upsets a certain proportion of the community and they decide to have a hate mob.
Yeah.
That's why I always kind of watch every time there's some drama in video game, like Gamergate, because when I had all that vitriol, that was when Gamergate was going on, right? And I
Yeah.
kind of identified it as spillover from people who are just looking for other arenas in which to attack people. Um, and that's why I'm kind of interested in the whole translator localization drama, because that really reminds me of Gamergate. And I'm like, when's it coming for me again? It's
Yeah.
only a matter of
It's only.
time.
I mean, it's cyclical. It's like the weather almost that these things happen. Um,
Yeah.
so so this all
So the
started. But where
next
did
the
this
next
go?
tweet
Yeah.
tweet
Let me
that
bring up
came
the
out.
next
I'm not
tweet.
saying X because X is just
It's
bollocks.
just a
It's just the
stupid thing to
worst.
say. No one likes saying it.
So I don't. And again, the problem is I'm trying to
Why
like
can't I do
piece
touch?
together what's happening over Twitter again,
What
right?
is
Which
this
is
shit?
really tough.
Uncle report. What is uncle
Oh,
reporting? Is this
I have no
slang?
idea where it's got uncle reporting now. It just says, "Oh, what? Oh, it's just like a report." Yeah, it's just not translated very well.
What does this actually mean? I'm curious now.
So this guy, he has this. So he's a VTuber, right? He's a big VTuber, and he has this league, and I'm going to translate it as the Divine League. Um, and he pulled out of it. Um,
Okay.
he pulled out of the draft. And the
This
reason
dick.
for all of this is allegedly criticisms that were being levied. Um, so basically, yeah, that you know, a VTuber was chased out by this sort of. They're calling it criticisms of the tiles. I want to point out they're saying the criticism of the tiles is
I'm imagining
what's.
that's like discard choices and like criticisms of
Yeah,
play.
exactly. And yeah, if anyone wants to jump in and say they've seen something better than me, like I really struggle to follow some of this drama.
Yeah, that's
Um,
challenging. That's again like at the end of the day, if I'm gonna broadcast my play, someone's gonna say that what I'm doing is bad. And I, at least from my perspective, I'd consider that par for the course. I'd consider that what I opened myself up to by broadcasting my play is someone saying, "Yeah, what you did there was stupid," or "You were wrong." And I mean, heck, um, I mean, not in a negative way, but on this channel we discuss things. I'll say, "Hey, I think this," and some people say, "Well, I think you're wrong." I mean, again, I don't think anyone on this channel has ever been bad or negative about it, and oftentimes
hmm.
I really appreciate the other input, and oftentimes they're right. But like by broadcast, if I'm gonna speak, I'm gonna open myself up to listening, right? So if I broadcast my play, there's gonna be some quotient of people who watch and say like, "What a dumb thing you did." It's not nice, but at least from where
I
I sit in my kind of cultural world, it's par for the course, and I have to be prepared to accept it if I want to be broadcasting.
Yes,
And
I think in one of the comments here actually does actually sort of say that I, there's a big problem for VTubers as well in that they're balancing playing good and entertaining. And I've watched people play Mahjong on stream, and I've done it myself. You kind of do something you wouldn't do normally, right?
yeah, you want to keep it exciting.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I mean, I think that the vitriol that was being aimed was much more sort of you're stupid.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, exactly. Like what you asked.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, from my like American online community perspective, I'm gonna get a lot of those second comments sometimes,
Yeah.
and I'm prepared to just say that's the cost of doing business. Sure, like, fine, whatever. Some rando jumped into my chat and said you're a stupid fucking idiot. Like, okay, you do. It is interesting because you do have to like endure it. It doesn't feel good to hear that, and people will casually fling these things at people because they think it just doesn't matter because they're just online, right? Um,
What
it's
baffles
hard.
me is I always used to associate it with like teenage boys, and now it just seems to be anyone.
No, no, it is this is I'm going to use a derogatory term here. So watch out,
Mm,
everybody. It is Karen behavior.
mm,
There's two
okay.
modes of this behavior. There's the teenage boy mode
Hmm.
and there's the Karen mode. And people don't quite understand Karen mode yet. Um and Karen mode isn't a gendered behavior, to be fair. Karen mode can be
Mm,
entered by anyone. And it is a mode in which you feel so disempowered in your life
mm,
that you need to grasp on to whatever like modicum of power you can grab where you can be in charge or
mm,
definitive or able to impose your will on something. And I think
mm,
this is becoming more and more common as the shape of our life changes as
mm.
we live in a world where we own nothing and rent everything. We have no power. I don't even have a house. I actually don't have a house.
Mm,
I have a rental unit. I
mm,
don't own where I live. It's given to me. All of the services I use and the things on the things on my phone, I pay for everything. I pay to go get food. I pay people to
mm.
go get food. I have to be nice to them. I have to give them a tip. All of these things. We just live in this world of interconnected services and things. And this is my old man rant, of course. Interconnected services and things that make us all feel disempowered
Mm.
because of, well, this ties into like enshittification, right? All the things that we were told were these online social spaces that we own are slowly and slowly getting modified to be worse and worse and worse and more expensive and less pleasant, and we're powerless because we're just people, right? We get ground
Shitification.
up by it. We get ground up by it. And
I'm
shittification.
waiting for Dave's book,
No,
Shitification.
and shittification is not my term. It's a term that's
Uh,
been used for the way a lot of these online services have worked, which is it's a very, very true fact, which is you start off your online service with a big pile of investor money, right? You make a
mm,
great service that people like and you focus entirely on getting people to like it. So this happened like we're talking like this is like early 2000s. You make a service that's going to pull everyone in by providing them great features and a great experience, and you're entirely customer focused to get everyone in the door. And you hit the point
mm,
where you are the majority service. You're basically the monopoly on this thing because everyone loves you because it's so great and so free and so wonderful. And then you squeeze.
mm,
Then you start tuning your service to push people towards paying more as opposed to push people towards enjoying it. Then you start adding
mm,
charges and fees and memberships. Then you start cutting back on what you offer. Then you start shutting down extra products. Like you start squeezing and squeezing and squeezing because you got the monopoly, and now the people are trapped by the network effect. They can't go anywhere else. So you
mm,
squeeze. And this is what's been happening over the past 5 years with a lot of big online services. All the things in our life
mm.
that we thought technology brought us that were good have started getting worse and worse and worse and more expensive and worse and more expensive and worse and more expensive. And look at Google search. Google search was miraculous when we all started using it.
Mm.
Now it's just a giant pipe full of ads and AI generated garbage.
Yeah, I saw the
Like,
Crunchyroll
yeah.
Funimation drama.
So, and
Yeah,
shittification is not a term I made up. I forget who did make it up. Someone else made it up. Google it to find out if you want to. But I'm not claiming that I originated this concept. But it's something that's happening. And I feel like it's
but
another
this
thing.
is why Mahjong's subversive. They can't take it from us.
No,
Whilst we have
no.
Mahjong tiles, it belongs to
This
us.
is part of why Mahjong is
Fuck,
not a game
fuck the
people want to
power.
make. Because they'd
And
rather make a game they own, because then if you get into the game
yeah,
they own it
yeah,
entirely.
yeah,
You can't play it on
yes,
your own. There's no
yes.
way to engage with it.
This
And
that's
like,
why money does not pour in. I
yeah,
try. I try to make money pour in, but it doesn't.
No,
Because no one
not
wants to.
easily at least. I mean,
It's very difficult.
it's
Very
more
difficult to
difficult
sell to
because you don't
people.
get people hooked like that at least, or they're not hooked on something they can only get from you. Which is like the ideal
Yeah, and then
situation.
and I'm not part of any addiction that they've got to mahjong
Yeah.
is their own problem.
And so this to
And so
get to my point a little bit,
so
I think.
oh okay, but yeah, you
Yeah,
get
I'll
back to your
finish this
point, and
up a
then
little
I'll.
bit. Like this gets. I mean, that you can't copyright game mechanics, but can I really recreate Azure Lane? Like I could make a game just like Azure Lane, but no one will play it because I can't afford to out advertise Azure Lane. I can't copy
Mm.
the art. I don't have people invested. Like you can't once you have a big thing that has everyone stuck to it, you will lose always due to network effect
And
and like lack
so
of
Reki
spend.
says American Mahjong cards. I'm just going to pull that up just because I'd like
It's a
to
big
point
company.
out
You can't. Yeah.
they can only copyright the expression of those hands. If I was to hand copy
Hmm.
them down onto myself onto a piece of paper and walk around with them, no one can stop me. That's not illegal. And the very interesting thing about the NMJL community, the American Mahjong community, is they all support that card, even though
True.
some people are like, I have to buy one every year. They all support it because for them it's a charitable endeavor.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
Every
card
yeah,
continues to be number one because the community accepts it.
yeah.
I'm
Every
not
year they
saying that's
pay their
wrong or anything, but
$15.
the community supports it
Yeah,
aggressively. They all say we want the card to be the card. We want to keep buying the card.
yeah,
We want to
yeah,
do it, and thusly does. There was a big lawsuit about Fortnite, by the way. There was a huge lawsuit about that because PUBG is written in Unreal Engine,
yeah.
and then Epic, the authors of Unreal Engine, were like, "What a cool game mode," and they yoinked it and they put it into Fortnite, which was originally not that type of game really to begin with.
Mm,
And there was a big lawsuit. And yeah, they could not legally say that the game mode they had was copyrightable.
yeah, yeah.
And so Fortnite, yeah, because Epic was a bigger company that could crank out content faster, that had a big platform. Now their game's a big game. Why? Because it's a game everyone heard of, and it's a game everyone can play. Just straight ability to reach customers. I mean, and these are all the facts of business, right? But it's hard. And so you have all these products. Again, you have these big
Mm.
products that have been positioned as monopolies that have been shoveled free, shoveled tons of free investor bucks into to make them beloved. And now everything gets worse. And inflation is kind of an inshitification of our economy too. Everyone
I
feels
see,
more
right?
poor. All these feelings leave people so desperate to find somewhere where they can feel like they can uh, be in control, have power. And sometimes grabbing onto someone and insulting them and trying to shake another human being is how
Mm.
some people end up liking that, finding that feeling of power or control. And again, you're not part of for Americans at least. I can say this for sure. If we care about that as a problem, we want to decrease that problem, as opposed to just watching on a TikTok as freakout videos. We need to figure out ways to make people feel good and empowered about their day-to-day lives, as opposed to just sad and hopeless
Yeah.
all the time.
I'm just trying to think like where else you see this in Japan. I'm thinking like, the AKB48 idols. You don't tend to see this unless one of them's dared to go and date someone.
Oh no.
Um, I know who would do that. But
Well, it's
you
never
do
me.
curiously
How
see
many of
the
them are
fans
there?
get mad at each other. Like, um, I'm like, okay, which girl am I getting? I don't know. I
There's
don't
so many
understand.
of them. You'd think
I,
one of them would have called by now.
I know there are hundreds of those
There are
people.
hundreds of them.
Um, yeah, if only it was just AKB48. Now there's like, geez, there's one in every city now. Anyway, but I
Good for
think so.
Japan
It's
for thinking big. Our boy bands were just five. We didn't think to run them like a football team with like multiple strings and like offensive and defensive line. We just had like five guys and be like, this is going great.
yeah, but that's where you went wrong because these girls get paid nothing.
Oh, I think the guys didn't get paid very much either, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, they went on to have. No one
They
can
went on to
argue that
have
Justin
again
Timberlake didn't
successful
go on to
careers.
have
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
successful
Well,
career. But
Justin
I mean,
Timberlake did.
people like SMAP, they have struggled.
Mm.
And I, of course, they were part of this Johnny's drama at the moment. We're less said about that, the better. Um, yes. So, anyway, I think so. One thing that was interesting that someone came out with was that they believed that this particular VTuber quit to try and to curiously kind of fall on his sword and to try and reduce the criticism that was being aimed at his colleagues.
Hmm.
I'm not sure. We won't know unless he would ever say it. But I can see that, right? Like if it's getting to that sort of fever pitch where everyone's just miserable and you're very miserable and you're like, right, I'm just going to quit. I mean, he's a big leader figure as well, so
Hmm.
I could see that he might do that. Um, but there's these two sort of threads, that people use to justify it. Well, like one, it's a professional, therefore they can say it, and the second is it's not. it's just criticizing the tiles. This is not, this is not malicious hurt. It's criticizing the way you play. And like the
I
problem here though is that this player is not a professional. They're a VTuber.
right, right, and
And
that's
then
then you
like
get into this weird situation.
yeah,
They're like an entertainment professional. I'm imagining they make money off their VTube channel.
I don't know if they do. And this is the
Mm,
problem, right? Especially when we've got these Twitch and these YouTubers, and like people are doing this kind of side of desk almost. They might have a regular job and they might be doing this in the evening because they
never
enjoy
done
it.
that. Yeah, it's
Um,
hard. It's hard. I do feel like saying if people are just criticizing the play, I think like I don't know. Again, from an American perspective, I would feel kind of weak sauce if I was sitting there streaming my play on Twitch and then being like, nobody say I made a mistake.
right. But then this comes to the big problem. There is rarely a right answer in Mahjong.
What? Oh, that's
And
true.
I see this a lot in some of the Western discords, like, oh, that was a wrong throw. And I've said it before, like, okay, I should always caveat, in my view, that was an
To be
incorrect throw.
fair, there are definitely some times where there is a quantifiably wrong
Okay.
throw.
But when you're watching the M Leaguers, they're probably not throwing an incorrect throw.
Mm.
I mean, they're at the top of their game. You might not agree with the discard.
I would not presume that anything they're doing is going to be in that realm of like, that is obviously 100% wrong.
It's very
I
difficult to
can't
ever
imagine
find
that.
100%.
I
It's
can't
not. This
imagine.
is not a black and white game. And this is where I really struggle with I'm criticizing the tiles, when they're saying that's wrong. Like, how? By what measure is that wrong? Like,
People
if
are
you can
toxic
say,
everywhere, Sierra.
you're in a defense situation, therefore that is wrong. Again, that sounds more like a criticism to me, rather than that tile's wrong. You're wrong.
If you chombo, you're 100. That's
That's
true. A chombo is wrong.
I don't know. I don't know. I've chomboed. I've seen people chombo. People chombo because they just make dumb mistakes. I
Yeah,
don't know.
but what you did was
And
wrong.
also, and
It's a
also,
dumb
and
mistake,
also,
but what you
you
did was still
can
wrong.
be put into a chombo state by other players on the table if
Mm,
you're very unlucky.
true.
So you're not always 100% wrong. You may just have been screwed over by the game state.
I mean,
Um,
you think about it. Like if I there are things you can do that are just wrong, but I feel like it's rare. You have to be really, really, really just completely unconsciously bad to be doing things that are quantifiably wrong.
right. So these people are going like, I'm just criticizing the tiles whilst they're saying that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. And you're like,
Eh.
do you really know how to play Mahjong? Maybe this is part of the problem that we're getting, that now we're moving from a situation where most people play Mahjong to a situation where most of the people involved in the community watch Mahjong.
I think that's a meaningful difference. I think that's
Mm.
important because when you do have people who just watch and don't have the in-person experience, I mean, it's like watching soccer or football.
Mm.
How many people sit there yelling at their TVs about how that player should have done better? Like exactly, like what do you get up and do it yourself? You don't do it yourself. What could you do on the field? Probably not. So like, but at the same time, as a spectator, it's easy to be like, come on, like you should have caught that. Like it's part of your emotional engagement with watching the game. And if you're sitting at home, obviously you don't feel strong enough about it to get up and like write a letter to them or call them. But you're still shouting this as part of your emotional engagement with the game, and it kind of is no harm at the end of the day in that context.
Mm.
And now we have people watching, and instead of shouting, they comment and tweet. But now the communication loop gets closed.
Mm.
And instead of being like players who are involved to understand how this all works, they're spectators rooting for their favorite team. And so they look like that. Like
And yeah.
it's
And,
hard.
and some of the interesting observations from the professionals were like, some people are like, oh, well, you won't get so much criticism if you just get better. And then other people have turned around and said, well, I got better at the game and everyone is still hating me.
You won't get as much criticism if you just stop sucking. We won't have to tell you suck so much if you
But
just cut out with all the sucking.
yeah. I mean,
That's
it
great.
kind of like
That's
from
great.
like a female perspective, and like everyone hates on like some actress because they're not the most beautiful, and then they go get surgery, and then they're still not the most
Oh
beautiful,
yeah.
right? It
Now they're
never
not the
stops.
most beautiful,
The
and they got surgery, which
criticism
is
never
not good,
stops.
right? So it's hard.
Um,
It's hard. I don't know. And I agree to some degree that being a professional means you have to be able to endure this maelstrom more than maybe other people would. But how intense should the maelstrom be? I think that's a good question.
I think at the moment in Mahjong it has reached an unnecessarily cruel level. I'm not sure. I know this is extreme. I'm always reminded of Britney Spears' complete meltdown, right? Um,
I was gonna say, I was thinking
and
earlier,
that
like
was
have we reached
inevitably
leave
caused
Britney
by,
alone levels?
yeah, I mean, but that was inevitably caused by immense press intrusion.
Oh yeah, like
Um,
the I have so little desire to look down on people in that world. Like, yes, okay, you might be rich and famous, and those are positives, but at the same
mm,
time, like the ridiculous pressure of being at the center of all that attention and criticism and constant
yeah.
visibility is something I don't understand. It's never happened to me, and I don't want to make light of it when
Who
like
was
by
that guy that was really famous for it all in America? God, he had ran that blog. It
I
was
don't know.
around there. Oh God, I can't
Give me anything
remember.
he did. Give me anything he did.
I'm just gonna being mean at celebrities. What's his name? And then he came out later going like, "Wow, I was really awful." God, I can't remember. Paris Hilton.
Oh, Perez Hilton.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that. That's before the time of many of our viewers, maybe, but I do remember that was a big
maybe.
celebrity
Or that bit
gossip
that
thing.
I guess I because that was around the time of Britney Spears, right? Like that
Yeah.
whole went down. But yeah, I mean, let's say that someone like that, an individual like that, turned up in the Mahjong community. Is that something we would accept?
I mean, we don't get the choice, right? They're just there. They're just there
Yeah,
posting what they
but
post.
that's the thing. In Japan, you could have a choice because you just sue them.
Mm. Well, anyone who says I play bad is getting sued. That's just how it goes. Anyone who says anything bad about my play, sue, sue, sue.
I mean, yeah, I know that. I know JPML has sent out several cease and desist letters to protect their professionals. It's one of the reasons that I have a big fan of JPML in that they really do look after their pros. They
Mm.
really do. There was a big kind of I don't know if I want to go into too much of the details, but the quite a lot of slut shaming for some of their female pros. Um, and yeah, JPML came down on that like a ton of bricks. So you may never have even seen it or heard about it
I
because
didn't hear
they
about
were
this at all.
sharp on that. You could just can't do that. It's not possible in Japan. Whereas in
I mean,
the
good for
UK
them.
at least, you wouldn't. Of course you can do it. You
Well,
can
again,
slut shame
there's
as
a
much as you
limit, right?
like.
There's a limit to which you can do that. You
Uh,
obviously
uh,
can't. Well, look, if I start writing newspaper articles saying someone has inappropriate relationships with children, I'm gonna get sued. Yeah, I get the heck sued out of me in the UK, right?
well, yeah, but then you're alleging someone of being involved
Right.
in a crime. But if you said, oh, if you said Taylor Swift has a lot of boyfriends,
Well, that's factually provable, isn't it?
right? But the my intent there is obviously she's a slut, right?
Oh, I was just thinking she's successful.
I'm not sure if it's Ichihime comments. You'd have to link me. I might. Do you know? I got so totally lost down this rabbit hole of trying to understand what was going on Twitter, and then I just fell into this like hole of people just being awful, and I was like,
So out of this hole, though, because we're hitting about the halfway point, and I want to make sure we have time for this, we have a game that was sent
we
in
have a
at
game
Games
review.
Review. So I want to give our other hour
Well,
to that to make sure
I,
that we.
so people can give us feedback. Some people said they wanted to know more about what was happening in Japan, and this is just the big thing that's been
Oh
happening
yeah,
on,
no, this
and
is super interesting.
yeah, and I think it's an interesting conversation. I think it's an interesting conversation we're going to have to start having in the West because, I know that Richinomi, I, yeah, are they doing it weekly? They're weekly streaming their games with commentary,
I
and lots
think
of
I
other
heard that
people doing it.
information.
And of course, but Richinomi are just doing it within their group, right? So everyone can be comfortable with what's being said. How and their viewership is not M League levels, right?
Mm.
But at some point they might anticipate that someone's going to start coming in and saying awful things, and I think it's good for us to have a sort of idea of
Yeah, to
what
think
are our
about what that
thresholds,
means.
what
Yeah.
are our limits. Are we going to accept people being awful? Like, and I don't know. I don't. I hope we don't, but I think I'm probably hoping too much if we go to a sort of a bigger community, right?
Well, it's things we have to be prepared to deal with, and
Mm,
figure out what matters and what doesn't. I mean, to some degree, you're right. The extent of the law is going to matter. Because Japan has legal
exactly.
backing where if people say things, you can do something about it. In the U.S., I really will have a hard time if someone just says mean things, doing anything
Yeah.
about it. Even if I was straight up like, I'm hiring a lawyer, let's see what we can do. Short of trying to like lawyer harass them into bankruptcy, it's very hard. It's very hard.
Oh, she does look like Ichima. But yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, this is partly why I think you'll find Tenho and stuff doesn't have chats. You don't have a chat function. Doesn't want to have to deal
Yeah,
with it
just
because
don't want to deal
the
with it.
old Run used to have a chat function. And they took it away because it got just awful to manage. They
Right.
just took it away, and that's the thing. If people misuse a feature, just take it away. Problem gone.
It's a little
In the
sad.
custom lobby, it does, but it doesn't have in the general lobby, right?
There's chat, I think, but I don't think you can chat within the game.
You can't chat in the game. You can't chat in the general lobby. Only when you're in your custom one. Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at this game we want to review.
Oh, you can chat, but nobody uses
I
it.
think in the
I've never
lobby,
seen
yeah,
it.
in the
Yeah.
lobby you can technically chat.
Oh, okay, but you can't chat in game, right? So you could easily avoid the chat entirely,
Yeah.
as
You
I've
can just not
proved.
to. And I think no one chats in the lobby because like, why? What are you gonna do? Be like, hey, you queued up too?
uh, yeah, they just got so rude when they lost. It was more funny. Yeah,
Oh god.
yeah. Do you know what? I just like screaming in my bedroom to myself. Right,
Yeah, I was gonna say
game.
I'll just
Whose
shout in
game
my
is
own
this?
zone.
Are we allowed
This
to say whose game this
I don't
is?
know if we're allowed to say whose game it is.
Okay.
They might be here and they can tell us, but this is an Armel game.
Should I just start shouting, "You're wrong, you're
You
wrong, you're
just
wrong"?
start shouting, "You're wrong," and also you're dumb, and also you're the worst. And I sure hope no one
Who'd
I
throw that
know.
tile?
Yeah, no.
I mean,
Um,
there is only one right discard here.
well, hold on. We'll take our first draw.
I don't think there is a right discard. Having said that, and that's the problem, right? I just said there's one right
This is a
discard.
rough one because yeah, the right hand of this hand says to me Chanta time.
Uh,
The left side of this hand says to me maybe it's just a more normal hand time, which means
no,
probably you want to just throw the south here. That's probably what I'd start with.
what? No, you are south.
Yeah,
Stop,
but
Dave.
one south
Stop.
just came out.
No. Throw the 9 pin. It's useless. Um, so the
Chanta.
only so just to sort of give people an idea of when they could go for Chanta, if you had a pair of value honors instead of that east south, then it'd be Chanta time, but you don't. So
It's always Chanta time. Well, our player goes with you. 9 pin it is.
I am. It's not the only correct tile because I also kind of second guess maybe I should be going for Chanta, but I don't think I'd do it personally.
Well, now we got our 3/4 block, which is pretty good. So probably now we're gonna throw that south.
Really, I'd still throw the east.
Well, all right.
South is my exit.
East goes away.
Yes, I like this player.
For the second 8, we throw the south, which I think is
No,
maybe
no.
draining the honor a little early. I don't think this
Yeah,
8 really helps us very much.
just throw the 8. It's not. You don't want to. You want to make these bloated shapes. Just throw the
And we
8 straight
immediately
out.
deflate it because we have 4/4/6. 4/4/6 is a better shape than 7/8/8/9 though.
Yeah.
We got our 3
This is
4
going
5.
well.
Well, now we're tempai. So what do we take?
This is a
I would
sucky tempi.
Well, yes and no. I'd probably just throw the 6 pin
Hmm.
and go for the 1 so 4 pin early reach. Because the 1 so will probably come out. That's my thought. If you're going to do the early reach here, I'd probably want to do the Champon weight. That is Champon weight, right? I'm using the right term.
Yeah, I don't like it. I wouldn't reach it.
You wouldn't
I'd
reach
throw
it?
the 6 pin and hope for an upgrade and or the
Interesting.
Dora.
So instead we throw the 4 pin as is. And hang out.
Just as it likes the south. Okay.
Because Shanta and Sancho. We get a 7 that doesn't help us. We get a 6. We can trim down to 6, 7, 8. Why not? Because we're not doing. Oh, we're actually close to 6, 7, 8 Sanchoku. So with a 7 pin, now we're in Sanchoku land. Okay.
Chow knows me.
But now we have a dealer reach on the Dora.
Reach.
Well, we don't have to think too much about what we're going to throw here because we have that east. Do we chase? We chase. Okay.
I mean,
Chase time.
I don't think you should chase, but I would definitely chase.
And we go out. Oof. Well, we haven't gotten our 7 yet, so like we don't have to regret our choices. Well, we would have gotten our 1 so Sumo though.
So Chiral asks the very, very pertinent question. If I'd have reached, would the dealer have reached? I'd argue yes. I think that if anyone else had the other two players had done this, I'd be like, oh, maybe I should have reached quicker. But it was the dealer. I think they'd have done it no matter what, right?
That makes sense. But what we got now is a sumo. We get lucky. What I'd like to see, though, what is the dealer waiting on? The dealer is Chitoy on 3-mon only. I don't know if I would have made that choice. I feel like I would have waited with the Dora.
I'm trying to think what would have driven that.
Well, probably thinking of no one's going to throw the Dora.
Yeah, and I get that, but I wouldn't then have rated on the tile adjacent to the Dora.
Yeah, like the 3-mon doesn't feel better to me.
Hmm.
I would have. Well, let me go back in time a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, so but is a Tan? Oh no, it's not a Tanya. No,
It's not Tenhou.
yeah, no, I would have.
So what? This is an interesting spot. Oh, we already threw a 9, so we can't wait on the 9, so because like at this point we're still kind of pursuing a normal hand. When do we change our mind? We change our mind here.
You see that Dave is very discriminatory against Chitoy, a normal hand.
That's abnormal. Chitoy's weird. Yeah, we get Tenpai on Chitoy while we're still trying to see if we can flatten some of these things out. Although, why do we get rid of this 5? Why would we get rid of this? Oh, because we get the 4. We don't want to keep 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to hold the door. Okay, well that makes sense. Cool. Yeah, and we're probably hoping to turn 5, 5, 6, 6 into like 4, 5, 5, 6, 6 or 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, and then drain out these terminals. It's actually good play to get this to the point where it's Tenpai, but throwing the door for the reach I think is a bit of a mistake. Oh no, I see why they did it. 1 came out already.
Okay, that's fine, but I think once you, as dealer, have declared reach, you can't expect a tile adjacent to the door to come out.
Yeah, I wouldn't have reached. I would have just hung out with it and tried to see if I could fish for a better weight.
Chiro, that's what I would do personally. I'd have been Dama and then
Yeah, maybe. Well, white.
The
There's only one white out, but that's a better. It's a better reach for sure if you're going to reach the Chitoy.
No, Chiro, I think that's a strong. I mean, the problem here is that I'm not sure what kind of table we're sat on here, but that discard pool does not look like a regular discard pool. So, if you think that you can do any Suji traps, you cannot do any Suji traps. Anyone who knows how to play is going to see. Sorry, not knows how to play. Who knows how to defend well?
This isn't that bad. This just looks like a fast. I mean, to me at least, this looks like a fast hand. Right? Now you got your normal terminals, your edge tiles. The 3 and the 5 imply we're getting somewhere. 1 Sumagili and then reach.
It's the 5-man, which is Suji on the Dora, that makes me feel it's not a regular discard pool.
The 5-man Suji on the Dora followed by the Dora itself is weird.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's where it gets weird. You're
problem.
You're right. I see. That's where it gets a little weird.
But I mean, this is the problem. I guess this is the problem again with being too certain on a very short, rows of discards. You're really only looking for one abnormality, and I think that's a strong abnormality coming from the dealer.
But we sumo it. We did it. Reach sumo. No Dora, but that's still a good chunk of points to start. And now we're the dealer. Hooray! Who expects
come on from a 2, 2, 3, 5?
It's a Dora discard.
It might do Chiral, but you don't know whether they're going to be waiting on that 3, which is why you won't throw it, right?
Yeah.
The problem is if it's not a very regular pinfu looking thing, and they're the dealer, and they're doing things like throwing Doras out, I'm not risking it.
No, that's the thing. The issue isn't that I'll know it's a Chitoy.
Sorry, it's not Charles. Sorry, EMP said that. Sorry, I you both got the same color text for some reason. It's yeah.
Because I feel like the question isn't do I know it's Chitoy or not?
Sorry, Tips. Yeah.
The question is like, do I play safe or not?
Yeah.
If I'm playing safe, I'm not throwing a tile next to the Dora for sure. No, especially because that 2 reach could just be 2-2 1 2 2 flattening down into the reach shape or something like that. Yeah, like you never know.
Yeah, I just feel like if you're trying to play safe, or you're trying to do that thing between playing safe and trying to stay alive, you're not going to make the choice to stay alive when it's a dealer reaching on a Dora.
Agreed, Dora.
Yeah.
What do we think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. Is this an Armor game?
This is an Armor game, yeah.
Okay.
This hand sucks. I don't like it.
Oh, it super sucks.
And that means the player who drew this hand sucks. No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to disparage anyone.
Oh, yeah. You just got to learn how to draw tiles.
Just draw better tiles. That's the skill. You need. Yeah, maybe when you get better, you'll draw better opening hands. But I think this is just indicative.
B-San sucks because you can't draw tiles properly. Yeah, no,
Now
I mean,
Emily's gonna delete us with AI.
how can you not hate this? No, if I was not dealer, I'd be okay. Let's see where this goes. I'm dealer. I need this
I
hand.
hate this. I hate
This
this.
sucks. This sucks hard.
Dave lost his
Um,
optimism. No, this is just rough. And I feel like it's like I want to throw this east because it's the only thing that lets me preserve all these like wide ass shapes I have, but I don't because I'm dealer and it's east and I shouldn't throw it.
I
So
mean,
what do I
I
friggin'
can
do?
I can give you my very very bad take. I probably throw the one bamboo in the thought that I'm going to have to
Three,
move
four,
this
five
through to a
stun
called
shoku.
Tanyao,
Yeah, maybe one
or a
bamboo is
called
not a
east if
terrible
I get
thing.
another one. Or 3 4 5 Sanshoku, obviously. Duh.
Yeah, like I don't want to. I mean, I could look at trimming off the 2 or the 8, but I really don't want to because with this shape, like it
No,
becomes a
no,
much
no.
better shape with the right draw.
That shape is too valuable there.
Okay, well, this player is all up in your opinions and throws the one bamboo.
I
So
really like this player. Like, you're my friend.
now we get another. Oh, what do we do here? We could
I'm
drop.
tempted to throw the 9 pins.
We could drop the 9 pins just so we're walking towards Tanya because that's the only way this hand gets anywhere. Okay, but we cut down the 2 pin. So we decide this is our shape, which makes sense to me. Our ex-dealer grabs hots, which means now we're in for a fast game. So that sucks. We can probably throw the 3-so now. Well, we can decide whether we want to throw the 3-so or whether we want to throw like this 8 pin and kind of lock in 3 5 5 6 as some shapes. Which, like, sorry, my eyes bothering me, but like that's not a crazy thing to do, I don't think.
I mean, I'm notoriously bad at playing these types of hands. So I really.
I might say let's drop the 8 pin and keep this pair and lock these in as additional shapes, but
I almost want to fold it.
I'll just crush for the first 3 draws.
But if I wasn't the dealer, I'd want to fold this.
Yeah. But I see
I just-
my thinking has been followed here this time.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Well, butts.
You gotta fold.
We got 2 dragon calls and all non-man tiles, and we just drew another 7-man. So my opinion here is we are going to start throwing the 9 pins.
I'd throw the 6 pin. If I'm going anywhere, I'm gonna cheat away.
What?
Yeah, I don't want to play this.
See, what I'm imagining with these 9 pins is we throw the 9 pins to walk over towards Tanyao, and we can still call out a fast Tanyao and win it and keep our deal.
There is nothing fast about this now. It's done.
Oh, man, it's east instead. That's a risky disky, but it goes. 1 pin as drawn. 1-so as drawn. We're holding our course here as this player is throwing every so tile as drawn, which means that 9-man is a.
I didn't like the 1 bamboo.
I was okay with the 1 bamboo. I'm pretty sure they don't want so tiles at all.
No, I'm just worried about if they're going for outside something.
Not with a 9 as the first discard. I don't.
And
think.
look at opposite there. I mean,
they're just playing. They're just
don't give a fuck. Yeah. I'm like, I am worried for this hand, and I would be playing really super.
9-man scares me. 9-man scares
I'm
me.
out. I think you've got to be out now.
We get away with it with 9-man's for because this looks like a pretty heavy flush to me. So the 9-man scares me, but we get away with it. This 5-man, geez, player across, you do not care.
I love Charles says it's just Honitsu. I don't want to pay that.
Honitsu plus 2 is Magan.
Yeah, I don't want to pay that. I know I say this a lot, but just fold. It's fine. Just fold.
Okay, so with the 5-man draw, we start moving over.
But again, why not throw the 5 pin? The 5 pin is safe, and you could have the 7 pairs on the table as potential. Just putting it out there.
Well, this 9-man we could have started keeping for 7 pairs too, but we didn't. But so now we start getting rid of the 9 pins. We extend the Chun into a Khan, and now our 7-mans are Dora. Oh, my heart.
Yeah, and now the sirens are calling you to shipwreck your boat.
Oy. Well, we'll get rid of this west again. We can get rid of the east because that's now safe. We do now have 4 pairs, and we could have had 6 pairs. We could have been we could have won 7 pairs
Not
if
saying anything, but hey ho.
if we'd known it in advance, like a psychic.
That is what they teach you in pro school.
This 5-so throws a little oomphy, but we are now Ishan 10.
Gosh.
3-man is now safe on this hand, so we can throw it if we get the call we want. So now
cool.
we're Tempai.
Wow, you played better than I did. Well done, guy.
Now we're Tempai. I would hope we don't want to reach this, but maybe we do want to reach this.
No, don't reach it. Don't
There's
reach
a con
it. Don't
on the
reach
table,
it.
though. There's
No.
greed. There's greed to be had.
That's good.
Okay, we Dama this. We're gonna Dama this, which I'm not gonna call that a bad play. I think there's totally a good rationale to Dama this. I don't know, man. I would be so excited to scare that player to my left with a dealer reach. With a
Well,
con on the
what if you
table.
draw the white dragon? Are you then and you've reached?
No, you're right. You're right. No, you're right. I'm not saying it's not smart to Dama this. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They just sumo it. And it is Sho Sangen half flush. Jeez. Well, I want to know what was going on across from me. It's just a hand.
One just neural activates the button. That's a very nice Sangen. Nice.
And those Hakus are nowhere to be found. They're both in the dead wall.
Oh.
Wow. Wow. All right. All right. What a hand this was. What a hand this was.
And yeah, B-san unfortunately got punished for having a very slow. I don't know what you do about it. It's such a difficult hand to speed.
Sure.
I
mean, we spun this into Tempai, so like, I don't know. I feel good about that.
Yeah, but it was too slow. It was too slow, and the problem being Tempai at this point was that, yeah, you're gonna draw a white dragon, and you're gonna have to pull it apart.
That's true. That's true.
And in a very risky way. Like it's quite well. I guess you got the 5-pin and the 6-pin. They're not too risky. Apart from
no, like we have the ability to get out of here. We can pretty much declare all the So tiles to be safe, at least on this player. Like this flush was very telegraphed. I felt like it was obvious it was a flush after the first 3 discards.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna. Yeah, of course. But
yeah, well, it would have. Is it Rinshot? It would have had to be 2 cons. But then there was a chance.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that happens, and we're the dealer, so we suffer for it, which sucks.
Yeah.
And now we move on to East 3.
I mean, this is more like it. It's not great, but it's more like it.
Okay, we get an insta-chi from our West player here.
Yeah, now they've got the wind in their sails, right?
Yeah. We can probably get rid of 9-pin or 1-so or something edge-like here. Yeah, we get rid of 1-so because we got a 4. Here's our 4, 5, 6, 7. So we probably want to keep that. Probably 9-so can go. Yeah, let's isolate the tiles. Go away. We get a 1, but we're not going to think about Itsu. West gets their East. So now we have a pair of 9-mans and 1-mans and 5-mans. And are we looking at Chitoi now? Maybe.
I'll be looking to make sure I knew how I was going to exit this. It's not looking great, is it?
We shift over to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which I guess gives us... Oh, Jesus.
No, it does not give you Tenhou a chance. It really doesn't.
No. We throw the hard safe 7-so because we already have the 4-so and we might as well throw a hard safe. 7-man, we just chuck. We could have had our 7, 8, 9. South, we just chuck. 3, we start throwing the 1.
I think this player thinks that they can make this happen, and I don't think you can now.
No, and someone else wins off of someone else for just Ipeco.
Yeah, but they've stolen a dealership from a player that's very close to them. So that's
How strange. One
pretty
just
big
plain
value,
eight
if you ask me.
on just the 7. And they could have waited. I wonder if they could have waited. No, they changed their hand up, right? Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an 8
Well,
9.
can I say there was an incorrect discard in their discard pool? I don't think they should throw the door on the very first discard.
Yeah. Yeah, what was up with that, friend? Like what
I bet you they just didn't
they
like.
didn't look. They
Oh
probably
God,
just didn't look.
everyone. It's just that's me. That's me. I'm like, oh, click, click, click. Oh no, two tiles around.
And this hand wasn't even that awesome a hand. This hand was just a straight up I'm literally pushing from discard 1 because I have 2 easts.
Yeah, but they can throw in now. They're so far
Pardon
ahead.
me.
They can throw into a few cheap ones, right?
Yeah.
See, Chiral, you do that when you're tired. I do that anytime. Yeah. It's
See,
really.
I would have been really worried about handing the east to this player. I think people don't think about that much. They're just like, oh, I'm going to get this east out of the way. It'll be great. And it's like, no,
Mm,
you need to not give them the east or make them wait all game for it.
mm. But I think, like, do you not find, like, when you're playing online, I often miss the door, whereas I'm playing physically, because it's a sort of slower deal process. You're kind of more like, right, where's the door, you know?
I mean, look, I miss the Dora all the
Half the
time.
time you've got to tell
All the
someone to
time.
flip the
There's
door.
no time when I'm not missing the Dora. I'm always just like, blam. Oh, shit. All right, now we're in East 4th. North is the Dora. We are West.
Always
This
tired.
hand does not inspire too much confidence.
Maybe I'm always tired.
Um,
Yeah,
and once again,
it's not good.
our speeded up player just throws the Dora first discard, North. All
I
right.
mean, I'd throw it now. If you're going to
Yeah, I
throw
was
the
going
door,
to
just
say, I
throw
might
it now.
consider throwing it now. We throw the East. We throw the June. We just drain off some of these extra tiles. We throw this isolated 7. We have 5, 6, 7. We have 5, 5, 6, 6, 7. Oh, 5, 5, 6, 7.
No, definitely throw the door. There's 2 out now.
Now we throw the door. Now that it's kind of useless to us, we have 3 threes. Okay. Like,
But I feel like that door should have come out in response to the table rather than in response to
yeah.
what you drew. I like this type of Sanshoku.
Sanchoku Doko.
Yeah,
Well, now we're Ishan 10,
the forbidden Sanshoku.
but now we're in an ugly spot. A reach was just declared from the right. The dealer looks like they're doing some kind of Sanshoku, maybe Junchan.
We can't throw this 9-pin, so sucks.
See you later, 9-pin.
Oh no!
Yeah, we just throw it, which I think is a little risky.
Especially if they've thrown that 7-pin. I mean,
Yeah.
can we see their hand? Can we see opposite's hand to see if we're right? No. Okay.
They're waiting on the 8 for the open Sanshoku, and this guy's waiting on
Okay.
4.
So they were. So
4-pin.
they had gotten Tenpai on the Sanshoku. So you lucked out there, but that 9-pin was super dangerous.
Yeah. Wait. So this is a yeah. It's an 8-pin only. Wait. Okay. Get rid of our Chun. Get rid of our 5-pin. West can go up, and then our player deals in to open Sanshoku. Okay. So these are all really like little knifey hands getting played here. Little fast knifey hands. Pretty aggressive. 'Cause it looks like people are dueling back and forth for second place and trying to get themselves back over the watermark. So now we're in 3rd place. It's East 4 again because they were dealer. I guess dealer pushing fast isn't a bad idea.
A could have seen what coming, the Sanshoku. I think A's playing tall stack at the moment, so they
Yeah,
don't
I think
care.
A. Well, what was A doing?
Playing tall stack.
Well, yeah. What were they doing? Like, no, A is Tenpai.
Yeah, but I mean, normally
Okay.
I think
No, I see. That's why they threw it though. They didn't throw it just because they didn't care.
no. But
Like,
I think, well, I mean, I would have said that's kind of not caring. I mean, I probably wouldn't throw to the dealer. I think if you're going to throw into someone intentionally, you don't throw into the dealer intentionally.
yeah, it shouldn't be the dealer.
If you're gonna throw into someone, throw into the reach player if you have to.
And I could see A being like, I'd rather keep my ability to shut the hand down. So we get East 4th 1. And what do we got here? This is not the worst hand. I'd probably flatten out this 7, 8, 8, 9. That's probably what I'd want to do first, just because I hate it.
Or the
get rid of
one
this
bamboo.
the 1 so, and just
Yeah.
chuck it. Oh, we got our 4, 5, 6 done, so we flattened it. All right. We got some shapes. We got some stuff. Now we have 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9. This is not bad. We can throw this 2-pin. Oh, we throw the 4-bam. Okay. I feel like the 2-pin is less useful than the 4-bam.
No, because if you get the 3-pin, then it's very useful. The
No,
four
because I
bamboos.
already have the 4s as my pair, I feel like.
Well, you can get the pair somewhere else.
I don't want to have to shop around, man. I want
Oh, but
to.
if you get the 3, you throw the three man, and then you're going to be having. I can't. My brain's not worked.
No, I
Um,
feel like with this
then you
shape.
have a 147 weight.
Wait, what? Oh, for the pair.
Well, so yeah, so if you draw the 3 pin on top of what you've just drawn here,
Right.
and throw the 3 man,
Right.
so the 4 bamboo's gone, and then you'd have 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And yeah, you'd have a 147 way, right? Am I thinking about this? I need some tiles in front of
Two,
me. I can't
three,
think.
four, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if the 4s of the pairs, it's a 1-4 or a 4-7. Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
right. Okay, good. I was about to say, you're making me
Okay.
second guess myself.
No,
So it's just
you
such
are
a strong
absolutely correct.
shape. That's all.
Interesting. It's a second tier shape I don't think of very often. But here we get the 3 cell that would have been right next to our 4 cell. This is why I think about those things.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just you can't think like that.
But
It's
it's
just
fine. We're good
retrospective
because
thinking.
we're Tenpai now. We're Tenpai in the good way. We got Pinfu. It's not Tanyao, unless we get an upgrade over here, but it's Pinfu, and we just hit it.
Would you? Yeah. Oh,
We
you
just
reach
hit
it?
for each Pinfu, which could be 2 and 30 or 3 and 20. We have a chance of hitting Dora. It's a 4-7 man weight. This is a little unfortunate because it would have gotten us a 3-sided weight, which would have been even cooler.
Hmm.
But such is life. Our
Yeah,
dealer
dealer
is
doesn't care.
playing anyway. Yeah, dealer does not care. And we have some tiles to throw. And the dealer sumos out from under us on another Sanshoku. Okay. Another
Nice.
little dealer sumo to keep them going.
Yeah, do you know, I really wouldn't have reached this one. I'm sorry, just because 4-7's a really cruddy weight. The
They're
upgrade,
too middly.
the upgrade to have to include that one would be powerful, and then also you could walk it over to Sandshocker if necessary. I don't think I'd have reached that one. I'm going to be honest. Yeah.
So this is an interesting one. We have south, 2 hots and shown. I probably would have thrown the south here.
Yeah.
To keep the 3-5 shape because it's not a bad shape. We got a Dora, and our Dora gets locked in here. We got our 5s as a pair. We got 2, 3, 5, 6. Like, there's a lot of good shapes in this hand. The 5s can be our pair if we call this hots if we just want to get this done. If we can lock this into hots 4 or 1, that's kind of good for a fast hand.
So here the red dragon should have been thrown. Like, if you're watching us, player, I think sometimes
dead already, yeah.
Sometimes you're just responding to what you're drawing rather than responding to what the table's doing. And here the south isn't wrong. However, it's better to make that response to the table because, yeah, then, yeah, it's better to respond to the table.
Well, hots gets ponged. The chin comes out anyway. We cheat it. Now we're just waiting on the Dora, which is a little rough because probably no one's throwing that Dora. But
you can upgrade it there as well.
Oh, well, never mind. Our play route reaches on the Dora, and now we win Hot's Dora. Gets us 2,000 points plus 600. Gets us closer to second and first. Gets us into South round. Gets us closer to being above water. It's a knifey
game. It's a knifey game. Why not?
It's a very knifey game. So it's like playing knifey. All right. Get rid of our 9. So North Pong's North. So we know it's going to keep being knifey.
Don't like holding that 8 pin over. So yeah, again, sorry, dear player, if you're watching. I feel again that you're deciding what you're going to discard before you draw. Like here, you're holding another tile on that 5 pin, that 258 Suji string, so that later down the line your fold may become quite difficult. So here I just throw the 8 pin straight out.
I like how Gemma plans far ahead for the fold. She's ready to fold at all times. She's like,
you have to. I mean, this is what mahjong's about. Like, sure, and I think this is where, I know, I'm pretty sure this is quite an advanced player anyway. But I think, if you're sort of an intermediate player and you're like, well, you have to start. Where am I going to build my weight? How am I going to fold? These are questions you have to have in your head from the very first discard.
So we cut off the 9 and the 1. We cut off the other 9. Now we have 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3. A third 9. Yeah, if we held that 9, it would have been pretty sick. Because we'd have gotten a lot of 9s.
Yeah, and it's just that, I mean, I said it's the risk of, because you've got 2
and now we
unconnected tiles,
anyway,
the 5 and the 8. And it's, yeah.
We drop the 1 again.
I mean, maybe they wanted to throw the 9 bamboo because it's Suji on the Dora, and that would be a good driving factor for throwing it out early.
Hmm.
I just think that maybe the 8 pin first and then later. Yeah.
This is a little interesting to me because these 9s are kept as the pair, and I don't know if I love that.
Oh, I love that.
I feel
I
like I
think
would have
that's the
dropped
right
the
play.
9 to get 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's basically the same thing, so maybe I'm being silly.
Anyway, yeah. So Chiro says cut the 5 pin for the 8 pin. It's not a red 5 format. It's I don't think it's that controversial. I like it.
Because then this would have been Tempai. That's the thing. If the 9, I mean, you can always woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? But cutting this down to
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and leaving the 2s as the pair,
So you'd have thrown the 5 pin out here.
I'd have thrown the 9 mon.
I think I probably would have thrown the 5 pin here. I think that there's again, it's back to like the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 shape is a strong shape. The 5 pins is disconnected, right? What was
Hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
I think the problem is like you've already got that. I think sometimes, especially so when you've already got a completed group and it's near the center of a suit, having a tile just 2 tiles off but unconnected otherwise is quite a strong shape. I think people mix that up with when you've got a completed
Hmm.
set at the terminal of the suit, and then yeah, you've got the 5. So you've got 1, 2, 3, and it skips the 4, and you've got the 5. Or I can't do it the other way because I'm too stupid.
Well, the problem
Yeah,
is
you've got
you
the
don't
5,
get a
and you've got the 7,
three-sided
8,
weight,
9.
right? Getting the 4 pin
Yeah,
in there still leaves me with a two-sided 3, 6 weight, which is
exactly,
not bad or
exactly.
anything, but it's not as good as if I have like 5, 6, 7. If I have 3, 5, 6, 7, getting the
Yeah,
4 in there gets me the 2, 5, 8 weight.
yeah. So if someone got their paper out, and if I can, it's
Hmm. It's true
gonna be if you
there are no pins on the table, but I don't know if it's fast enough to be worried about that. But
yeah, and then so if you had the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 shape. I mean, there's a lot of things that can do. You can draw another 9. Yeah, you can draw the 4 like you do. I think there's a lot. That shape
this,
is that man shape is stronger than your pin shape. And I see what you talk about, like that you're worried about the dealer. The dealer just threw the 2 pin. If you're
well,
worried,
now this is later. Like if we go
yeah,
back in
yeah.
time, yeah. But I'm not worried about no pins on the table because I don't see any daring non-pins on the table. Like no one's just been throwing like 5, 6, 8, like everything out of
Uh,
their hand. This doesn't look to me like a flush rush table
it's
right now.
it's not your Dora suit either. And
Hmm.
I probably would even like you say, oh well, they threw out the 2 pin after the decision had been made with the 8 man discard. I think it's okay to reverse when the 2 pin comes out. If you had genuinely be worried about that 5 pin, once the 2 pin came out, even though you'd thrown the 8 man, I'd probably throw the 5 pin and go, don't worry, Gemma, I'm going to draw the 8 man again.
Throwing the 5 pin doesn't it structurally is actually a stronger move here than it seems. Than
Mm,
it seemed to me at first glance, I should say. I should be subjective on
mm,
that. Because you're
mm,
right. Having 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 2, 2, 3, 4 gives you a lot of acceptance.
mm.
Um,
And if you're
otherwise,
if you're the other option, of course, if you're genuinely worried, just throw the 2 bamboo.
yeah, you could flatten down the 2 bamboo. Because like, what are we thinking here? If you draw the 2 or the 5, your only tempai here is the 9 man, which is dead. Um,
I mean, this isn't easily. I mean, you could, I guess, give it 3, but I mean, it could be a 1-4 shape. But yeah, you could throw out the 2 bamboo. You've still got your pair option there, the 9 mans. Could find
if the
another
5
pair
went out,
option
turn
somewhere
5.
else.
Oh,
Yeah,
if at this point the 5 went out, true.
yeah. Chirel's really anti 8 pin. Sorry, anti 5 pin. He likes
Anti
8
5 pin.
pin. Yeah, he loves 8 pins.
So we get to a tiny sumo from C on just sumo.
Mm.
Um, I guess they were hoping to upgrade or do something better with this. Uh, if they had reached it, would it have been good for them? It would have been 6. They would have gotten nothing out of it anyway.
Mm.
So, all right.
But it's this very knifey game.
Yeah, it's really, really knifey. And here's our deal. And this is not. This is frustrating, but not bad. We got a lot of
No.
raw material, but the problem is we got this 1-3 here, which locks us out of Tanya, but lets us keep the Dora. So we can start by draining out north and see. Maybe we can do a 2, 3,
Yeah.
4 Sancho. Maybe we do something. Let's see what we get. We get an 8 and we give up on a dragon, which is a shape.
Yeah.
Now we got
Yeah.
a dragon
Okay.
pair. Okay, now we've got some speed we can get in here, which is good.
Great. Yeah.
We don't want the east. We don't want the other 8. We got our 6, 7, 8 complete. So now we're technically tenpai, and it sucks. So I think it's right here to not reach it. I don't think we should be reaching this. I don't know, but I don't think we should. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't think this table is easy to push off their
Yeah,
hands.
everyone's so pushy. I don't think this
Mm.
reach would be a good idea.
Mm.
South Pong South, which is not so great. And now after South Pong South, we reach. Okay. We think they've weakened their hand a little bit, and we hope that
Mm.
they care. I don't know
Well,
if
they
they
won't be
will
able to
care.
fold as much easily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've gotten rid of a lot of their possible fold. And South is actually looks like they do care right now. South and West both seem to care,
This is great.
which
So it's
is
just
great.
your tall stack who's being pushy, which is even better.
Yeah, a little bit because he might just push right into it, or just give you the time you need to sumo. So we're hanging out, hoping to draw the right tiles.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's got a pair of green dragons in their hand, like they are spitting now.
Yeah, yeah.
They're never going to be able to get out of them, and that's great for you.
South
Oh,
calls probably to get Tenpai.
oh,
We're
they're
going, we're
ballsy.
going.
They're ballsy. But they're somehow managing to throw quite safely, which is a talent.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Haite
You see, this
Sumo on
player is
the
very
Dora.
good at sumo. I don't know how you do that. I like that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. Reach Sumo Haite Dora 1 for a dealer Mongon, which
Yeah.
launches us up. It brings our first place
Yeah.
player down to 33.
Yeah, you're at
And we are now at
39.
39.
Yeah.
Just draw the tiles you need, man. Just draw the tiles you need. And now, look at us. Now that we've got wind in our sails, we got a good draw. We got our pair
Yeah,
of souths.
but you now have the poison chalice of, like, do you not feel like when you're like you manage to change and you're at the top and then you just over push, right?
No, this is a great hand to just go. This is a
I
great
mean,
hand to
this
just
is
go.
okay, but what I'm saying is there's always a risk here at this stage of the game. You feel good because you've made up a big point differential. However, you're still not that far ahead.
True. But
That's
as dealer, we gotta go. There's no other
of course
option.
he's got to go. Of course, yeah, you got to go. Got to go.
So here we
but
are. We got our 4-5. We
I,
got our 7-8. We got a 2 we don't care about. We got our south pwned. We're ready to rock. We got our 5s as the pairs. We got 6, 7, 8. What do we break here? Because the answer, in my opinion, is the 4-5. Man, is what we break here.
wait, what? No, why?
Because if we break up, we now have 6 and 8. We have 5-5. We got to get rid of something, right?
Yeah.
7-8's not going anywhere because there's Dora in it.
Right.
7-8 gets completed with 6 or 9. 4-5 gets completed with 3 or 6. So if we drop 4-5, we only lose 3 acceptance.
But if you've dropped the 2-3 pins, so starting with the 2 pin, if you draw the 6 man, then you've got the 3-sided weight.
But we also lose 1 4-pin acceptance. I don't know. I like.
Oh yeah, you like the 1-4 pin, and I get that, but yeah, Chun Man says 4-5 man as well.
I like having the 1 because the 1 is much more likely to be dropped by someone.
So my concern here is that if you end up on so I agree with you, the 2-3 weight, the 1-4 pin is a great weight. Unfortunately, whereas usually your 6-9 man would be a great weight, it is not in this situation.
No.
Because of the Dora situation. And
But
so in that case, I am concerned that, so what I would like is if I can draw the 6 man and then going to wait on, I can then have 3 man as a potential out, and that's much more likely.
But isn't 1-4 even more likely? 1-4 pin?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if I end up that, yeah, but let's
Here's
say
what I'm
that
saying.
I
if we
no,
cut.
but if I cut the 4 man and I draw the 1 pin, then I end up on the nightmarish 6-9 man.
Okay,
weight.
yes, but if I don't cut the 4 man and I draw the 6 pin, I end up in a 6-9 weight, a 3-6-9 weight, where I'm like the 6-9 will never come, and also a 3.
But I'm drawing this. I don't even draw this. I'm calling this.
Or I'm drawing it. But your argument on keeping the 4-5 is what if I draw the 6? Specifically, what if I draw the 6?
Yeah.
If I cut the 4-5 and draw the 6, I'm tenpai on 1 4-pin, which is kind of ideal. So in the case of in the answer to what if I draw the 6, there's 2 outcomes. Outcome number 1 is we get the 3-sided weight, and outcome number 2 is we get the 1 4-pin weight, depending on which way we go here. And I actually think the 1 4-pin weight is better than the 3-sided weight here, because 2 out of 3 tiles in that 3-sided weight, people should not come out.
Right, if you start throwing 4-5 man out, no one is going to throw you a 6-9. No one.
No, you're gonna. But we were talking about drawing the 6 yourself.
Yeah, I just. But the 3 men could come out. So, but Dr. Ballon said the edges are more likely to be dropped, especially as tables. So you dropped the 4-5 then. Is that?
Yes. 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 This is the categorically correct answer, and any player who doesn't do what was my opinion is obviously a dumb, stupid
It's
dummy.
just stupid. I'm stupid.
Awaiting my Japanese subpoena.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the 6-man draw now. That's all I'm saying.
It's good. It'll get you Tenpai. It'll be great. Ooh, now this is interesting. Because now this opens you up to Pong. Do we want to keep Pong as an option?
Hey, pairs. Well, no, because I know. I mean, in this situation, no, because then you're gonna throw the 2-pin, right? And so then you can also accept the 4-pin. If you've decided you want a 1-4 weight, then
yeah, holding on to the 2 is not throwing the 2 isn't a terrible plan because you can still grab the 4 or either 5. So dropping the 2 gets you in a. The question is really, do you value being able to Pong here more than you value shapes, basically?
I mean, so pawning, if you're hoping to pawn with a 5, it's less likely to happen.
These players seem pretty aggressive. No, we just give up on this.
Pez is on Itsu. Pez jumps in. He's like, Itsu.
Itsu. I love Itsu. Oh no, another 5. How sad. And now we just switch to having that be our pair, I guess. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I can live with that. That seems fine. Here goes our Hats. Haku gets ponged. Now everyone's just pushing right now. Oh god. Player across, and here we get our 6, and we throw this 8, which is safe on a cross.
I said you don't get the 6.
And now we're in the 1-pin 4-pin.
You can have 3-6-9 weight. I'm gonna write 3-6-9 on my notebook, and then a little sad face.
Okay. Now we have the 1-pin 4-pin weight. We do the swappy doppy with the 7.
This player's good at drawing tiles. Of course they were going to draw the 6.
And everyone just kind of goes and sees what they get. But player across sumos their full freaking flush Dora. Well, no, I'm sorry. Tenhou. Tenhou full flush.
Can I look at the discards again?
It was pretty clear that this was a full flush, but I'm curious.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to them at all. Like, no paying attention.
Once they called 2 and a suit and had discarded none, they call the chi, and here they throw the 9. Yeah, the second call of this suit with the 1 tile overflow. Yeah, that becomes pretty obvious. This throw is gutsy as heck. I don't know what you're doing over here. I guess you're just pushing your. Don't be me. Like you're just.
Yeah, I was about to say, Dave. Wait, was that you? Was that you?
Don't be me. After this play, just throw the 9. Just get out. Just be happy.
And the problem is, I don't think people are in that mindset at this point, right? It's been very, very knifey, and I think when it becomes a knifey game, you almost lose sight of the fact that high value hands exist.
Yeah, like the timing, and like this, your hand's dead anyway. These 7s have killed your hand. You're not throwing the Dora at this in like right now. And looking at this, I'm talking to player left here. Right now, looking at this table, you're never throwing the Dora. You probably don't want to throw 8 or 9 man because they're right next to the Dora. And look at our dealer having called south, like they probably want them. So these 4 tiles, 7, 7, 8, 9, are now frozen in your hand. So your question to think now is, how am I unlocking these frozen tiles? And until you have an answer, you should not be playing this aggressively. Is my opinion.
Yeah, now every time we say something, we're like, "Is my opinion."
It's not necessarily the only opinion, and
it's not the only opinion.
To be clear about that, but like, you should just throw this 9. So, this Chanta Dream is stupid, and I'm saying that. Dave is saying that this Chanta Dream is stupid.
The terminal optimist.
Because right now, with that locked 7, 7, 8, 9, you do not have a pathway forward, and you will do better.
I am going to say it's not obviously a full flush. I don't think looking at that.
Not obviously a full flush, but I'd be really nervous right now. 2 calls in the same suit. The first so overflow of the session, I'd be thinking it, especially because flush is so popular with Western players. It's a strong hand. Yeah. I'd be worried about it.
Yeah, Pez, that's exactly how I play on Final Fantasy 14. I watch them all just knifing each other, and then I'm like, I'm gone. Oh, that's it for the rest of the game for me.
Yeah. And so, like, with a hand like this, with so much locked material here that I can't get free, I'd either be throwing the 1, 2, 3 pin just to be safe, or you throw the 9 so. It's the safest tile ever. It's a tile that's just discarded. It's great. No one wants it. It's great. and you should not be
I
doing
mean,
this.
Asan's discards here look a little. Oh no, they don't look flashy. What am I talking about? Ignore Gemma. She's talking nonsense.
I find it a little interesting that Desan didn't pong this, because I think it might have actually, from their perspective, made for a better weight.
Do you reckon? No, just 2 5s are gone.
No, it's not. It's worse by 1 tile. So it's 5 tiles versus 4 tiles. So no, it wouldn't have been a better weight.
No.
So okay, they let it go. But yeah, I think this player played way hard and they didn't have to. And then they did throw this Dora too, which is like, what are you doing? Also, why are you throwing it like that?
Because they're tempi.
They would have been better keeping the 7 tempi, frankly.
But you don't think it's because, and this is not a terrible read in my opinion. Both is it Desan and the dealer here have thrown the 4-man fairly early.
But you still would keep a 6-8 close.
They
weight
could
for
be.
that.
They could,
like,
I'm trying to put myself. They could be trying to read Suji because it's an early throw. Obviously, I'm going to come back and say immediately. I will argue that you cannot trust Suji when it comes to Dora. Dora are an aberration, and they make all of the tiles around it behave in a peculiar fashion.
Especially when the Dora is like a 7, and so for the player with the so flush, if that's just Tenhou, 6-8 holds that Tenhou pretty nice and gets them a Dora, so they could totally be doing that. And for the dealer who's called south, a 6-8 weight waiting on the Dora is totally valid. Like, both of those things are very possible. So yeah, that's what part of why I don't trust that 4 is Suji. Because both of these players could have what they need to win anyway. They don't need Pinfu.
I mean, personally, obviously, I'd throw the 8-pin and the 9-pin. I mean, I'm out.
Yeah, I'd be out. I'd be out at this point. Or rather, what I'd be doing is I'd be holding this as 6, 7, 7, 8, 9. And start like taking apart the 7, 8, 9. And again, if I want to wiggle here, my wiggle's going to be 6, 7, 7, 8, 9. Either I'm going to take apart the 1, 2, 3 of the 7, 8, 9 here to try to find my pair somewhere else. And see if
the 8-pin is safe on all the players.
Yeah, throw the 8-pin.
And because you've got a Cabot wall on the 8-pin, 9-pin's likely safe.
Yeah, so you throw the 8-pin, you throw the 9-pin, you hope 7-pin becomes a pair. Like, you try to find another way. And I think this 6-man draw is a great example of another way they could have tried to take. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm coming down on this poor player like a ton of
You're
bricks,
all
and
coming down a little harsh on them. I think I'm
like,
just trying to see from their perspective. I think maybe they thought that they could read that Suji, that Dora Suji.
I just feel very strongly in this situation, my head would be saying, you will not throw Dora. Dora will never leave your hand here. That is suicide. That would be my read on this table right now. Anyway, it happens.
Yeah, it's but you know, it's kind of depends on the environments you're used to playing. I mean, some of the environments, cough, Mahjong Soul, cough, there is zero respect for Dora, and therefore you will get away with it. And I'm not sure what the kind of environment of Armel is when it comes to Dora.
Oh no!
Our players found themselves as dealer during 2 Hannah between them.
Yes. And now we're in positive second place. Our dealer is desperate here. Our dealer is not only in last place, but underwater. Our dealer's in a bad way. They need to win. And what do we have here in our hand? We have a hand we're going to push.
Yeah.
How are we pushing it?
Toy. Well, this is not a toy dash because it's not quite toy, but
not quite toy dash. Ooh, okay. Now we have a Honroto opportunity.
Honroto and Flush. I would be keeping that.
Both of these are good opportunities.
Yeah.
And we have great tiles to use for it. So we're trimming off some fat right now. We're grabbing that 1 pin. All right, yeah.
I'd keep the 8 bamboo just in case you got the Dora. Yeah. You could throw the 5 bamboo and have it 6-8. I know that's less ideal, but yeah, I just in case I do manage to absorb.
So, in a dangerous move,
no, that's right.
Asan reaches and we take the tempai. I think it's right to fight this.
That's your enemy right now. You're not gonna let them. No.
Well, I agree that it's right to fight this. I also agree this is a dangerous move. We have made a dangerous move. We've accepted this because it is, I think, right to fight. We got to do it. We're tempai. We're ready. Fight time. Let's do it.
Yeah, this is the right. Yeah, this is the time.
And now a dealer reach.
Yeah, now I'm really sad and I'm very
And we fight.
concerned.
We fight.
Yeah,
And a sumo from Aeson.
nothing you can do.
A manga and
Perfect
sumo from
play.
Aeson. Yeah, but
Perfect
yeah, there's
play.
nothing else you can do here. You're fighting. You fight, and it didn't work out.
Perfect. Perfect. It just sucks, but
And now
perfect.
we're in third place, and it sucks. And this hand can easily get us to Tenpai, I feel.
Yeah, but
On
it's
like
no
reach
points.
Pinfu, not enough to win. That's what this hand is. Reach Pinfu, not enough to win. To get us a nice
No, because
positive
both
third
the
place.
first and second are in the similar 39, right? So you really need to take
Yeah.
off them, one of them, to get to second. Yeah,
Get rid of
you
the
need a.
A-Pen. Get rid of the Chun.
Oh, 4,000 is enough, right? 3,900 is enough.
Is it?
Direct hit from one of them, right? Is it enough?
3, 6, 7. Yes, yes. Direct hit
Yeah,
of 3,900 on either of them is enough.
yeah, and then you get second. You're not going to get first, you get second.
Yeah. So we now have. We're now in a weird Ishanten.
No,
So we're Tenpai.
that's.
And we're gonna Dama this
Yeah, I
because of
mean,
the easy upgrade to Tanyo.
you've got to get some more points in here.
Yeah. Oi, oi, oi.
Yeah, can you count on the men? Mind you, this player is very good at sumo, so maybe you
Except
can
that
count on
two
the
of the four
sumo.
men are already dead here. Two of the four men that we need are already dead. This is
Yeah.
so unpleasant. Could we have gone another way? Maybe. But I'll think about that later.
Uh.
We get
Oh,
the two
oh,
man and
there's
we
the Dora.
drop
There's the Dora. There's the Dora.
Tenpai. Oh yeah, hey. I forgot about that part.
Jeez.
So now North has a Pong of the door. So we're not getting the door, but that's good. It keeps us from distraction. We know we're
Yeah,
not
but
getting
then
the door.
that's why B-San's throwing the one man here smartly. They're like, oh, throw the one man. It's
Yeah,
the
let's
right
get
thing
away
to
from
do.
it.
You don't, unless you get to Tempai, you don't need to make this risk yet. It's not
So
going to get
now
you where
we're
you need to be.
Tanyo, and we have reached Tanyo, and
Yeah,
we reach
you've got,
this.
yes, got to reach it. Yep.
It's not enough
Reach
points.
Tanya and hope for a flip.
Well, it's 2 and 40 for 26. If we get a
Mm.
flip, it's 3 and 40 for 52.
Yep.
And on sumo, I don't think that's quite enough. 52 is
No.
13.26. It's not enough to get us first place, but it is enough to get us second place on a sumo now from the dealer.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that brings us up to what? 52
Yeah.
is, I'm going to do the math, 36.8, and then the dealer comes down
to
36.8.
Yeah,
It'll
but then
tie it.
yeah, but no, but then because you're the closest dealer, the closest player to the dealer, the starting dealer,
Oh, then we'll win on the
you get
tiebreak.
you get second place on the tiebreak.
Yeah, that one man cut was rough, but I see what the logic was. There's no other way. Like Pinfu is not going to work.
The one man cut is strong. Love it. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. I actually very strongly agree with that because it's like you gotta make happen what you need to make happen.
And
Holding on
Dr.
to a
Blonde says
finished
Sumo
hand
plus
should...
Dora is first. Exactly. There is a chance that this gets you into first place.
with Dora. But like that's the thing that people need to. It's letting go. You know, you learn at first, let go of the honors. You probably won't get them, so don't worry about it. You learn eventually when to let go of the Dora, not let Dora hold you back. Let go of your shapes when you have to. Because in this case, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, and obviously Sisan is not backing down. I mean, they can't.
No, they can't. They got to play.
Yeah.
And now they have a Mongon, so they just got to play. So what are you going to do? You're not going to change it. There's pretty much nothing you can do now to improve this.
I'm not sure. I'm really curious to know whether Sisan has enough points to get them over the. Is it 30,000 in this? Probably not, right?
No, but what else can they do but make the biggest hand they can? Like,
Mm.
I guess we can see what they've been doing in a minute. Let's see what they've been doing now. Why'd they throw all these nines? Is what I'm.
Have they decided to fold?
Are they folding? Are they scared of dealing into this reach? Oh my god.
They're just they know they don't have enough points. They're not playing. Yeah.
So
It's
what
fine.
can Sisan do? They could do Toy Toy. They can do what? They can do Toy Toy, Hots, Dora 3, which is Hanemon, which is
I know,
12,000.
but they're on damage mitigation. You can't throw 6 bamboo into this, surely. I think they're just on damage mitigation.
Yeah, I don't.
It sucks for them. I don't see a route to victory for them, and so they've done the honourable thing and stepped back.
Ooh, I don't love it. But they're out.
I'm just gonna summarize that as Dave doesn't like honor.
I dislike honor. Pardon me.
Now you're
Just
really
likes
going to
moving
have to
too.
draw this yourself. There's 3, 5. Oh no, all the 5 bamboos are in people's hands. So there's only 2 eights
Yeah, there's only
left.
all the fives and eights are allocated.
Is there
Thank
not
you.
2 left? Oh no, they're in your hand. What am I
No,
talking about?
there's
Dumbass.
no
Oh
there's
yeah,
no victory
yeah,
here.
yeah. There's no victory. Sorry,
Wait,
but you could.
wait. There's a con.
That doesn't change your waiting shape.
No, which ends it to Tenpai no Ten.
No, the dealer's no 10.
Oh, it's butts. And that's a shame on the dealer a little bit. Like, was the dealer trying to be Tenpai? It looks like they were not trying to be Tenpai. Oh, they could have.
They don't want to throw the 7 pin. I can see why they don't want to throw the 7 pin. Very much so.
Yeah, they're all nervous. They're all nervous about
Yeah,
it, and so they're not Tenpai. The
but
final con.
I mean, why would you want a dealer to
Pardon
lose
me
your
again.
second place? You don't.
No, it's not worth it.
It's been good play. Overall, it's
Yeah,
a good play, no? I like
yeah.
it. Very good.
And so we got a positive third place. The rarest of rare, the positive third place.
That is a noisy car in the background.
Yeah, that was really noisy.
Um, yeah.
Man,
Happy New
man.
Year. Yeah, I think some of that was just
I'm curious. Did all those
a
tiles? I'm
lot
curious how
of
all
that
those
was
tiles
just
got hoovered
bad
up.
luck, no?
Wow! At the beginning of the game, all the fives were already trapped across from you. At the beginning of the first draw, all the fives were locked up. It's not even like they were, because I feel like if you go into reach and they're just like holding, because like I sure don't want to throw this dangerous five. It's like, oh, too bad. But this is just like Destiny was like, no. How else could this have been played? I don't know if I see an alternate path through this hand, short of just getting rid of this one way early and just being like, it cannot be. But even if you do that, what do you do? 6, 7, 8. I could see flattening out. If I flatten out the 6, 7, 8 right now and held the 3 is another thing I could think of possibly doing. If I held the 6,
Problem is you want a pin through. That's the real problem. Oh, I don't do it.
like I could see this hand becoming a
Yeah.
weight on the 3 or the 6. I don't know if
I,
that's
I
better. I don't think
I
that is
could see
better.
it becoming a weight on the 5 pin or the 8 pin.
Yeah, yeah. Like
That doesn't mean you'd win it though.
Yeah, if we held it to 5, 8. Yeah, like there are a few ways it could have gone, but none of them seem patently better, even being able to see the future.
No,
Okay,
I
Oko.
mean it's the 7 bamboo draw that really kind of creates the problem, right? I guess I mean I just don't like that 6 man hanging out there on his own. I probably would have thrown him earlier, but I think that's just a style thing. I don't think there was any choice with the issue. Sorry, I don't think there's any issues with the choices that were made.
Yeah, yeah. Some of these are just style thoughts. And again, it's like I can think of ways I could have done it. I can think of ways that, yeah, theoretically, if I pour through every draw and discard, I could
Hmm.
like find a way to make this hand win. Maybe, because who knows how things would be affected by changes. But like, yeah, this
So
this
I
was rough.
guess I mean so if you go back to the 8 pin discard, so you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so yeah, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that 5 block theory would tend to dictate you to throw that 6 man if
Hmm.
you really want to come down to it,
Oh, if it's
because
hard because you have 3, 5, 6, 8 as 2 blocks.
yeah, exactly. And you're short a bit of a block here. So, by throwing out the 8 pin instead, having a block with one tile in is what you avoid, right? So
Hmm.
it's better to have 5 blocks with 2 or 3 tiles in. But what you've done here is you've got a block with only one tile in, which is typically what you should maybe avoid, which is probably so sometimes I have to go back. I'm like, why is my gut telling me to throw the 6 man here? And so I have to like put the theory back on top of what I'm doing. But that would be the theory there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so we could have, in theory, reached
Mm.
this waiting on the 5 or the 8,
Mm.
which we also never draw, and the 8 only comes out probably because it's safe on us. So, like,
Oh no, I mean
Yeah, yeah. There's
it
no
might
there's no
not
magical way. Even
might not
with
have
the
led you to
magic of knowing what
victory.
we're gonna
Yeah.
draw, I don't think there's an easy way to win this hand.
Yeah.
In a way that
Yeah,
we
okay. Okay, so looking for the Sandshoku chance. Yeah.
also there's no flip here. The flip tiles are 5
Hmm.
mon and 1 so. There's
Yeah, that's
no
true.
victory
So
here.
then,
Ah,
yeah. So that's the conversation that was had. Was that
Sanchoku chance for the 6
the
mana.
5 block theory, and you're like, nope, I don't want to do the 5 block
Mm,
theory because I want to keep a Sandshoku because I need to get this value. But
yeah.
I just feel like I don't know. So from my gut instinct, I guess here the issue is that actually to get to 3/9, you probably don't need the Sandshoku, but you do need the efficiency. But again, this is really like
This is rough.
I can guarantee you if I sat 4 professionals down in a room, they'd all have very long, different conversations about why you should do this or that. If this is definitely down, there is not, you know,
Yeah.
as long as you've got all the information in front of you, some people are still going to take one way over another way. That's just their style, right? Which is,
Yeah.
I think, what I said at the beginning when we started debriefing this particular hand is that I don't think any of the decisions were wrong. I think
No.
that there are some style choices here. Um,
Yeah, no, this is just a rough hand. There's just a
mm.
lot of different ways to go, and it would have been
But
really easy to just completely ruin it, or
yeah.
to straight up, just like take reach pinfu and then not get. That's the other
Mm,
thing a lot of people get tempted to do, especially like less
mm,
experienced players. Oh, I'm tempted by go. I'm like, okay, reach pinfu. Maybe I'll flip $1,000,000. Like not even thinking about what they actually have to do.
mm.
Like I think one of the defining points of this hand is that one man throw, which is the commitment to
Ah,
I know what I have to
the
do.
one man is a strong throw.
Yeah.
That is a strong throw. I mean, that's a really like yeah, it's a good throw.
That's
Um,
like the defining good moment of this hand is saying like this is where I need to be.
yeah, yeah.
So
It's difficult. I mean, the only other suggestion I got, like not in your armor games, heaven's sake, no, but like sometimes when someone's got such a different play style, I go into Tenhou with a free account and try that play style out to see how
mm,
awkward it makes me feel, but also to see what the results come from it. Um,
yeah, no, it's good. It's good to check out other ways to play. I think
hmm.
there's a lot of options.
Even though it makes me feel super awkward sometimes, because then you end up in situations you're not usually aren't the ones you're comfortable playing in, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which for me is typically places where I can't fold out, and then I become very uncomfortable and stressed. Right, Dave, plug your stuff.
All right, so where's my page that I want to bring up? Let me find this thing. Here it is. Let me bring it over here when it's loaded. This is what I want. I want this. Boop. Check it out. So this is our Mahjong tile coloring workshop with Karen Aruba. You can see a lot of cool pictures of painting tiles. It's very exciting. This is the kind of thing you get to do. People doing a workshop. Pretty neat. You get paint, you get tiles. So it's going to be at Sparrow's Nest. It's going to be on April 30th. You're going to get to paint and finish a selection of tiles. You get to choose 4 specific number pin tiles that you want, including a 0. They have a 0, which is really funny. So basically what you get to do is you get to say, like, if you want to do happy birthday, my birthday is June 13th, so I could have, like, 0613 to be my birthday numbers, or whatever 4 numbers you want. You get to pick the numbers. You get to pick a bonus tile from happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy life, home sweet home. We also have 2 exclusive unique tiles from our new US-themed Mahjong set that will be available, which is an interstate sign, Mon tile, and the Wall Street Bull green dragon that you can have as your custom tile if you choose. Which is super awesome. I know we never changed that. We just talked about
We
this the
never
whole
stop
time.
zaps.
So again, this is kind of an example of what you get to bring home. It's a gift box, it's a card, and it's your selection of tiles all wrapped up nicely that you've colored for you or whoever you want to give them to, because maybe you're giving this to a friend. And that's what it is. It's about a 2-hour workshop. We have 2 sessions. The sessions are at March 30th at 3 p.m. and March 30th at 7 p.m. Again, about 2 hours at Sparrow's Nest in Manhattan. We actually have people flying in for this from the American Mahjong community, people coming in from Chicago, people coming in up from Florida.
You've
Actually,
got
a lot of
people
these people are
flying
really
in from the
excited.
UK. What are you talking
Yeah, we
about?
got people flying in from the UK. That's true. A lot of these folks actually are really excited to be able to do this and to meet each other for the first time, which is also really, really cool. So it's going to be a really, again, this is the first time this class has been offered outside of Asia. So if you have the opportunity, if you're in the US, if you want to do this, Super recommend it. It's going to be really, really fun. And we really hope you can join us. And that's my plug for the day. Gemma's going to be there too.
Yeah, I'm going to be
She will
there.
say hi to you.
I will tell you how to fold.
And you can criticize her as a professional.
You can criticize me. It's
Yeah.
all right. I'm used to it.
It'll be
You know.
defamatory.
Do you know? I'm really like I'm upset if someone compliments me. That's a very uncomfortable situation. So
That's true. No,
I would rather you be like, Gemma, you need to get your shit together. I'm like, oh, this I understand.
We'll have the angry Gemma Idol fans being like, "Did you know Gemma is married, has a husband and a family?"
Oh
And that'll be
yeah,
the big
I haven't heard
scandal.
that.
It'll be the big scandal. Famous mahjong babe actually has family.
Oh, then I could be like my true idol Amaranth.
Just like,
Wouldn't that be a dream?
Yes, yes. And then you can be like, they forced me to play mahjong.
I cry at night because I have to play mahjong.
They forced me to play mahjong. Did anything actually come of that? Did anything actually happen? Like,
So as I understood it, she doesn't have a husband anymore.
okay, I mean, good. If she, I don't hate Amaranth or anything. So if I just remember, she cried out about being in an abusive situation, and then I didn't hear much more about it. So hopefully, what happened is she is no longer in an abusive situation, and no one is abusing her.
I mean, she's doing all of the stunts that you'd expect from a Twitch streamer. And she
Sure.
still, like with the, they were doing that thing where they had the black thing over their tops and stuff or whatever.
No, I have not.
I don't know,
been
like
absorbed in the world of lady Twitch streamers who are focused on being.
it became quite such a scandal. It popped out into other, conversations. So it's something because some guy did it and it was quite funny actually.
That would be kind of funny. That would be pretty funny.
But yeah, I don't know. The problem is these situations are always very nuanced, right?
Of course. I just, it's one of those things where it's like someone who said they had a big problem in their life, and I just didn't hear much more. I wasn't looking to hear more about it, so I wasn't like researching what. I just didn't hear much more about it. So hopefully that situation is better. I don't want anyone to be abused by a partner. I think that's a broad statement I can say categorically. No one should be abused by their partners. If she was being abused by a partner in her life, I sure hope that is not happening anymore because no one should be.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's difficult, right, with the streaming. I mean, it's easy to be.
Well, it's always that weird public life, private life thing.
Yeah.
Like what do you show to everyone and what don't you? But no one ever writes about famous mahjong babe Dave, which makes me a little sad.
Are you being coercively controlled into the stream, Dave? Sometimes I do have to browbeat him into coming online and doing it.
I do. It's so awful. She just yells and yells, and I'm like, fine, I guess I'll stream. It's okay. Sorry, Tartufo, I have to go.
And I'm making big bucks from Dave streaming.
It's true. She takes all the money. I use all my boundless talent, and she rakes in all the cash. I get nothing.
Oh, that is the dream.
Well, happy Lunar New Year, everyone. I hope you all have a great day. Sparrows is actually open today. We're going to be closed tomorrow because of celebrations and because of the superb owl that will be happening tomorrow.
Owl? What's an
Super
owl?
Bowl.
Oh, Super Bowl.
The superb owl.
Who's your
I'm just rooting for whoever Taylor Swift roots for.
No, but I don't know about who's the entertainer for the whatever it is.
Oh, wasn't it DJ Tiesto, and DJ Tiesto just dropped out?
Oh, I don't know.
So I think I caught a whiff of this. Like, it was supposed to be DJ Tiesto, who I still feel weird saying this name as like a serious name for some reason. And the dude's like 40 years, like he's been around, like he's not like some icon of the youth. But I believe he dropped out for some kind of family problem. He said straight up, like, I have a family obligation, something's wrong, I have to go be there.
Oh, it's Usher now.
It's Usher.
Gosh, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's been around.
He's been
I
around.
like Usher, but he's been around. So yes, thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, the next stream is going to be all about Dave's private life.
Dave's private life? Oh, Jesus. It's not that exciting.
Dave makes appalling decisions
Dave does
on renting places in central Manhattan let nerds play nerd games.
This canned peanut soup. I had a canned peanut soup earlier. You can see it's my can. This is something Dave ate. It's a delicious can of Taiwanese boiled peanut soup.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know. I like that stuff.
And
That's
for
good
a can, this was pretty darn good. I have to say. It came with a little spoon. It came with a little spoon in the top, and it extended into like a full-length spoon.
If you
I was
ever
very
want
pleased
to
by
make
that.
Dave happy and you're going to see him, bring him soup in a can. There's nothing that makes him happier.
Functionally, not quite functionally free, but a lot cheaper than they could have been.
Oh
That's
yeah,
for
we
sure.
were mocking you, Dave, because we were like
What?
going, once you bought one table, the other 4 tables are basically free.
Basic.
And I'm like, that's the Dave attitude.
It is. It is. It is. Once you bought one table, the other one they just give them to you. They're just like party favors. They're just like, thank you so much for buying this table. Have 4 more tables. Um, but anyway, thank
Right,
you all.
right,
Thank you all
kiddos.
for
Thank you
joining
for
us.
listening to our nonsense.
It's been a great time. Have a great Lunar New Year. We'll see you all next week. Play some mahjong, have some fun, and bye for now, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining.